Good evening, everyone. Welcome into the Challengers Elite Series. Season 4 continues on in Day 4. This is North America. We already concluded with Europe. Now it's time to move down to domestic turf. Spaceman, joined by Dream Crazy in just a moment. We're going to get into the action because, well, tonight is just a game of eights. It's literally just we're booting up Money Eights and we're having fun. We're watching, Ellen. It literally feels like that. It's like a CDL match from like 3 months ago, all combining into one lobby. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, with just all the roster changes this last week, obviously, whatever it takes, being one of those squads that we're about to see play today. But with the standings, let's take a look at that. But you see that whatever it takes has been the most dominating squad pretty much all across the board. They have that 15-2 map count. And of course, the match we're about to see here today with 705, who is also on the counter side of that with a 4-2 win and being in that 15-8 map count, being in second there. So yeah, for the fight for seeding here, if you will, it's going to be the battle of the CDL elites. I agree with you there, Spaceman, all these players are pretty heavy hitters.
It's literally eights. Here's the schedule for tonight. 705 Esports versus whatever it takes, followed by Destroy the Odds and Ironblood. Again, Destroy the Odds sitting around 4th in the standings, in Ironblood Gaming, who not quite having the performance I think they would have wanted, but regardless, this is a team that, well, in this situation has a chance to play spoiler. But this is going to be an interesting matchup for tonight for both teams because, well, we hit on it before. Let's do it one more time. It's basically a pro lobby. Let's give you the rundown of how these teams look for 705 and whatever it takes. Of course, there have been some changes because rosters get mixed around. There's CDL changes, all that stuff. But here's the interesting thing. Okay, you take the best team in North America currently. You give them Capsidal. You got Brack, Clayster, Fellow, and Capsidal, and that is no slight on 2Real. He's been fantastic. He's gotten him to this point. But you bring in, without question, an upgrade, arguably Rookie of the Year, outside of maybe Pred, from the CDL. Capsidal just makes this team better all the way around.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we know what the type of energy that he brings. And I mean, just with this roster too, with 705, like this past weekend, they didn't necessarily get extra practice with Classic because they had played with Gunless this past weekend. So, well, I guess on the flip side too, whatever it takes, ended up playing with Pro Loot. But you know, the mixture and all the craziness that unfolds in Challengers. But of course, some of these players that do get called up to the call, it was 2Real for whatever it takes, obviously getting moved out. And still, it's not a bad trade there for Capsidal, as you know. No. He just brings on the heat, especially with that sub-aggression, with the mixture of Clayster, that's like kind of the recipe that you need for success. And I mean, well, Brack and Fellow, they've just all across the board been playing so consistently. And yeah, Carson, man, he's just been that player. Brack, just all across the board. I feel like every roster he's been a part of, he brings so much to the team.
Yeah, he brings so much flexibility to any roster, and he's been doing that since Black Ops 4, one of his biggest years. You look at 705, you got DiamondCon Classic, Pristini, and Royalty. Again, another top 4 in North America on any given day. Granted, they probably weren't expecting that, you know, of all circumstances, they'd be playing Capsidal tonight, but they knew about the roster change, all that stuff, so they're certainly preparing for it. But this is a welterweight fight. This is a big-time best of 5. Capsidal immediately makes this team favorites going into not only next week, but coming up. This team stays together into Boston, coming up if they stay together into potentially champs. This is huge for implications, not only tiebreakers wise, but let's go into whatever it takes itself and talk about this roster, and we will get to 705 in a moment. Ellen, when we look at Brack, Clay, Fellow, Cap, I mean, I feel like it's safe to say before Cap got here, it was very much a testament of the team's skill. The longer they played, the better they got. They were just so composed and polished down the stretch. But, you know, it gets better with Capsidal. And, of course, you know, we'll get the names figured out and corrected. But talk to me about this team. Talk to me about what Capsidal brings, because it's a lot.
Yeah, no, I mean, as far as whatever it takes goes, I mean, they've been pretty much across the board. I mean, they're 5-0. They're a dominant respawn team. If you really want to pick apart like their weakness, I would say maybe their Desert Siege, their S&D, but I mean, even though that was by a close margin, I mean, losing that only 5-6, both to, I believe it was Ultra, and Electrify Steel, but like regardless, like still they're such a strong team that like across the board with the respawn plays, like this team is good. And there's the team profile with the correct names. There you go. The longer they play, the better they get. And I mean, realistically, that goes to show because individually these players are just so talented. So realistically, it's just about getting that team chemistry going, and that team chemistry is beneficial, of course, to gain their momentum in Search and Destroy. That's where a lot of the chem comes in, a lot of those individual plays, because you know you only get one life, but also just it's really about the coordination there. And I mean, if all the players individually are so good, they just got to get that chemistry to go in and gain that momentum.
Yeah, the last time we saw this team, again, 2Real was on the roster. They played Ultra Academy North America on the main stream. That was last Wednesday. And, well, it started off with a tough Hardpoint win. They go on to the S&D, and Clayster started clutching like 1v2s and making ridiculous plays. He gets rolling. They take the momentum from the S&D, and they walk their way through the control. That's what's scary about this team, is that they gain a lot of their momentum in those game twos, and they're a very good respawn team, and they add in a very good respawn player in Capsule. Now, let's talk about 705 Esports, because this is the squad on the other side of the table going up in this best of 5. Again, we've talked about the prowess of DiamondCon and Pristini, Royalty, Classic. I look at that 1-2 punch. DiamondCon and Royalty are like the engine of this roster. Like when DiamondCon is hitting his stride as an AR, when Royalty is hitting his stride and getting those early aggressive pushes, getting those first engagements, those trades, this team is tough to beat because they play at a pace that's very different than other squads. But talk to me, Ellen, they have had better performances as of late, but it seems that a lot of our top teams have been struggling in the cups.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. And I mean, of course, when you have those roster changes or maybe even playing with just one player that just is not on the official team, I agree with you, though. DiamondCon and Royalty have been the engine, and I do apologize about that. It was this squad that actually lost against Electrify Steel on the Berlin Hardpoint. So Berlin being one of those factors where that AR dominance comes in, but really Royalty, yes, he has been such a key factor because for some of the game-winning plays, he's cutting off those pinches. He's the one that's picking up those kills around the flank. He plays pinches so well. And I mean, when you have Pristini the GOAT, obviously, like, I mean, his performance, like, I mean, look at him. Like, he just started earlier this year just from playing ranked play and then filled in for that phase roster, you know, and the CDL at during stage 2. So Pristini just overall just brings that type of energy to where he can help close out those games. And I mean, just no matter with the sub or AR, he's always doing, you know, what's necessary to take the dub. So obviously, it's no easy feat here as we head into this with whatever it takes. I mean, they've been in a more established squad, but yeah, just essentially in this most recent cup, it was whatever it takes that took down 705 Esports. So here we go. Finally, Sean, what you've been waiting for. The game is starting up.
I'm so happy.
Yep, so happy, me too. Hopping on board with Fellow, but Capsule, of course, with the opening pick, takes down 2 and Clayster to follow. It's whatever it takes, dancing around this hill, but not a bad start for this P1 hold. Is sometimes P1 Spaceman can be, you can run away with this, and it could be like a money hill. You could turn this into a money hill if you play it correctly.
Yeah, I mean, you're willing to give a certain amount, take a certain amount, but we're not, again, putting too much stock into the early hills. But in this moment, I think the antithesis of Pristini has been himself at times. He has a bit of imposter syndrome, which we all have at times, but he sometimes feels like he's, you know, not the best player. He feels like he's not living up to the challenge. But when he starts believing in himself, as sappy as it sounds, Pristini can be one of the best on the planet, and he's proven it. When he has that confidence, Pristini can gun anybody who's ever lived on this game. It's just come down to him having that confidence reinstilled in this game, and as of late, it seems that it has been there because he's been playing lights out, and I'm excited to see how it translates into this opening Hardpoint because this is a big best of 5 for not only the first place team, but what 705 could do to keep themselves solidified in those seedings. When we go to P2, so far it's been a resurgence from 705 into the hill. Clayster gets shut down, and well, it's a pretty good response early on in the second hill.
Yep, and if you take a look at Brack, he actually flanked all the way around, and no one spotted him there, but it seems like Pristini does get the kill, and it was a Classic that helped solidify these spawns, securing that water side, so the spawns do flip for whatever it takes, and I mean, this may be good for 705 Esports because they do have the rotations for new, and DiamondCon, of course, is winning the gunfights over at Old, but although it's scrappy and contest heavy, it is 705 Esports in control of new, not the team name that you want to happen there in Pristini, as he kind of was waiting for that rotation over. But take a look at number 8, Clayster, waiting fire. It's 705 Esports that, well, they have a good setup here. It's just about, can you take down Capsule, who's on the chase of Classic? I don't think he spots this, but bring around the rosy it goes.
Classic's got him on a route, and I love this because, again, it pulls attention away from the hill. You get an early 20 seconds this for free, maintain those spawns, but pushing through the back, it will be Clayster trying to work in tandem with Capsidal as Brack falls. And there is Pristini to take down Clay's former teammate. Royalty will find another as well. This has been a decent hold for 705. They've chained a lot of time together on that last hill, but more importantly, they have minimized the pressure that whatever it takes can mount. They've kept numbers at bay. They've stagnated a lot of their hits, and with these long routes from likes of Classic, it just makes it that much more difficult to get a clean break without a lot of contest time. So far, so good. 14 seconds to go still here, and we look at the rotation, top side of the minimap, it will be Clayster out early, ready and waiting. Royalty should meet him in just a couple of moments. This is a big gunfight for our next hill.
Yep, absolutely. And Royalty wins it onto Clayster. So that is good for 705. As you see, whatever it takes, they are spawning at that old P3 hill fire, and now they have to look on to break. But Classic does get taken down, and you're right there, Spaceman. He's been a key factor as to why 705 has been able to solidify majority of this time, even on the old and even into the new. Because Royalty, not only did he pick up the spawn on the back, but he rotated early. So although Capsule got Nate onto the point, does clear off 705 off the hill, and, well, fellow dancing around looks like Pristini inside that train station. That's whatever it takes. I do manage to clear out 3, but Diamond's Khan is still left alive in the back. And, well, what a huge toot to boot.
That's big. Yeah. Like, look what you get. Look at the real estate you get. Now, granted, you do lose a lot of mid-map control, but should you swing back out towards P5 through the likes of Classic, it might be a little bit easier to spread those numbers thin. However, with these collapses and these constant 3-on-2 pressures in the front of the hardpoint, just Nate it out of position like we've been seeing. 9 and 7 for Pristini. He'll use both if needed. MP40 in hand. Can't find the kill. Brack able to find 2. But it's been a pretty quiet second hill, or I should say, really, fourth hill in terms of the second push into that hard point. It was pretty quiet. Not a lot of contest for either side. 705 didn't get a huge chunk of time. Whatever it takes, able to work their way back in. We go to our P5 now, and the early start will be there as whatever it takes have the first 20.
Yeah, and that was huge from Capsidal there to secure that 2 train station. So Fellow picks up the point. I mean, whatever it takes, has the awareness that 705 is spawning that back warehouse. And, well, dancing around the point, huge gunfight to be 1. Make it 2 from Fellow with the automaton in hand. That is perfect for whatever it takes, because essentially they have the favored spawns. So you take a look at number 7. Fellow did spawn at new, and Capsidal is contesting for this old time to keep 705 out. But realistically, it doesn't matter. He's got to give it up and maybe back up. And, well, see Classic again taking the longer way around. So this might be beneficial if you're 705 Esports, as they have a pinch spawn here onto this point of the new rotation at office.
Yeah, but they ended up taking down Diamond Con, so that push through the back gets shut. Now you talk about zoning in the front. It really comes down to 2 kills. If Pristini gets 1 more, there's your break. Clayster will kill him. Make it 3. Okay, so as quickly as you start to formulate a plan, Clayster and Brack and Fellow shut down the push. Not only do you lose that last 30 seconds, which is big just for building upon that lead, you're looking at about a 175 to 115 game if no one else gets around to contest. But at this point, splitting your resources and deciding when the next hit should come through is very much a high-risk, high-reward kind of play. Because whatever it takes could end up just winning on scrap time if they chain the next 2 hills together. There's a break finally. Diamond Con and Pristine get in. Brack wins both. Takes him off. You take 2 kills. Your teammates on the other side are doing everything they need. The rotation's there. The transition's there. The anchor's there. Whatever it takes. Just have everything.
Yeah, and that was huge too from Clayster and Fellow to win those rotational kills. Fellow with the help on side of the point, and whatever it takes, like you said, they can chain these 2 hills together and essentially run away with the lead. Oh my goodness, Fellow. Crazy shots over the sandbags there onto the water side, and that clears out members of 705 Esports pushing that way. So getting that deep spawn backfire P3, 705 is going to have to look to break in now as well. Whatever it takes is hitting that, about to hit that 200 point mark, but Fellow again with the huge 2, and he's on a 4 streak right now.
Needed Nicky D to come up with something big. Does not happen. First team to cross 200 points, whatever it takes, 1 hill away from closing game 1 in very convincing fashion. I wouldn't say dominant, because this game has been much closer than what would appear. Well, these last couple of hills, especially with the early 20 seconds, the early opening time, whatever it takes have had an answer for a lot of these different pushes. The contest really hasn't formulated for 705. When all is said and done, All it takes is one break. Capsule can't get the nade off in time. 2 kills will fall. Brack with a response. Pristini with a third. There goes a nice kill feed for 705. And hopefully this means they get themselves back in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see if they can do it. But zoning forward from Royalty as he pushes out towards that statue, but Clayster able to take him down. So now you see the long wrap around from Capsule as he pushes through fire. And that's 2 down for 705. So whatever it takes, still pushing this through the front. Still in a peculiar position, though. DiamondCon, nice slays, nice 2. 705 able to secure the scrap time. But this is the race, Spaceman. They have to get over towards this back P4 as well. Whatever it takes, you still got... You got Capsule lingering out in the back, and well, of course, Brack just spanned there.
And so did Clay. I mean, even when Brack goes down or Fellow goes down, Clay's right there. You have Brack currently sitting in the hill. You got Capsule far back to make sure that spawns will not be disrupted. DiamondCon able to get in for 1. Can't find the second. Fellow with a big gunfight win will move himself towards the hard point as Classic on a route through the middle. Needs to come up with a kill or 2. Create a reality for where 705 can find the break. And there it is. Finally, that's 3 dead. This should be a push. And more importantly, it should be time for at least 10 seconds. 705 need to get into the hill. Continue this contest, but they just can't find the kills, nigh the positioning. But hold on a moment. Maybe that's it. Finally, they get in the hill.
Yeah, and a key benefactor there too was Brack in the back that had a huge 2-piece, and they finally able to take him down. So now it's Scrappy from the front, though. This is good time if you can hold it through 705 Esports, but look at the setup from whatever it takes. These are important kills that you have to take, and DiamondCon is taking the long way around to go through fire, but Clayster aware of this is going to take down DiamondCon, and of course, maybe with the help there of Fellow. Fellow's going to rotate back, get the information that Classic is inside of fire, but realistically, the preferred side is to hold it from here, of course, for P1, but it is 705 Esports who are on the point, and well, that's a huge 2 from Classic as again he helps to secure more hill time for his team.
Clay just ran into a cul-de-sac and put himself on the same route he was before. Ends up falling, so you lose not only sight advantage with your AR, but then you lose extra numbers. All of a sudden, it's a hold. 705 working this comeback second after second, but Brack looking for the break. He will fly in. DiamondCon, the only one around for 705 to potentially contest for the moment. Numbers quickly dwindling. Pristini right off spawn has to get in and make a play. Here comes Clayster. Yeah, and Ellen, you're absolutely right. They got to make a push. DiamondCon gone. Pristini through the back. Brack wins a big gunfight. That's a 5 spree for Fellow, and with 5 seconds to go, Classic is the only one to stop this game from going to its inevitable end, and that should be that, Ellen. No, we got another hill.
Oh, yeah, no, that was so close, but the save right there. And now you see on the rotation, it is Pristini that does clean up 2 on Capsule and Clayster. So whatever it takes, they only need 3 seconds to win. And there's the stun from Brack to open up at least an opening from the front. Classic has to hold on. He has at least DiamondCon around and Royalty who's zoning forward, but this is really close here. All it takes is 3, and there's Clayster with an opening pick onto Classic. The hill is contested. Clayster for 2, but the save again from Royalty. Can they hold on here, Spaceman? That's the question.
They both can win it here. You got to get in. I don't think anyone else is around. Big challenges all throughout. Everybody falls, but in the end, whatever it takes to survive the wave, they hold on for a very scary ending from P5 back to our 3rd rotation. 7 consecutive kills in a row inside the hard point. Both teams trading blows, but it was like 250, 231. The final match, surprising that it was that close in the end, but the fight that you see from 705 is kind of one of the reasons why they're here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, big credits to Classic too at securing those rotational kills, like taking the longer way around the map. And I mean, of course, Capsule had an amazing start to boot. I think he was like 4-0 before he dropped, but whatever it takes really set the pace for the hardpoint, even on that first P1. And then of course, 705 was racking up some time when they took those early rotations onto P3. But in the end, I mean, it just came down to a couple of key gunfights, a couple of few holds, like just setting up and rotating. But man, huge 2 pieces, of course, to Clayster securing Riverside, and I mean 705 still putting up a fight. And man, just maybe the turn up a little bit too late from Classic, because I think at one point, yes, he was like 9-16 and then turned up towards the end.
And this was just absolute chaos, and Royalty with these 2 kills. I mean, those are the types of gunfights that when Royalty wins, all of a sudden you get yourself a map win. Looked like it might happen again there, but whatever it takes, do find a way to get into the hard point. They have the numbers, 31 and 23 for Fellow. He had a ridiculously good game. Capsidal, a little bit slow to the party, but it did enough, right? Like,
yeah, he had a great start.
Their name is Whatever It Takes. They literally have whatever it takes sometimes. On the other side for 705, another quality game, just a little bit too slow to start. They had moments of great sprees and chaining hills together, but there were a couple of holds in those first hard points that built the lead for Whatever It Takes that 705 could not break, no matter what Prestini was doing, no matter how quickly Diamondcon was rotating out. And when it came up to Classic, having to like 1v2 or 1v3 his way into the hill, that's tough for anyone to do. And Classic couldn't find those kills. But I think the takeaway is that one hill play differently, that game might go to 705, which just means we have a series on our hands.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, could we see potentially 2 back-to-back Game 5 games today again with this region? But hey, you never know. Yeah. We obviously know both teams super, super good, super intense game. And yeah, it really was just whatever it takes, setting that pace right off the beginning. But both teams so well had those moments where they were securing the spawns, they were getting the rotational kills, they were able to zone forward a little bit. And I mean, just the gunfights that were important were won. And just like you said, whatever it takes, taking whatever it takes. But I feel like a big benefactor too was just like that P3 hill. It seems like 705 really just played that really well. But just certain moments where, of course, whatever it takes was just capitalizing and chaining those 2 hills together. I think it was P2 and into P3 they did the second time around. But just having that ability to keep your opponents obviously off. P4, P5 can get a little bit scrappy towards the middle map there, but they did such a good job. Whatever it takes is just controlling that train station and just getting into those positions to just control the map so well.
I think that's the big takeaway, controlling the map. And speaking of, we got Bocage S&D coming up next for Game 2, followed by Tuscan back-to-back and Desert Siege to round out this best of 5 if needed. But now we go into S&D, where I guess Game 1 was close, but also kind of first match of the night for either of these teams, at least with Elite Series respect. I'm sure they've been screaming and getting practice in before. But now that we go to this situation where we know that the clutch potential between Clay, between Cap, between Fellow is there. Like, these rounds aren't just going to be, oh, we have a 2v1, so we're good. It's going to be, we have a 2v1, and last alive is Cap or Clay or Fellow. Like, we have to shut this down before this, manifests into easy momentum for whatever it takes. 705 have to come out and have a very strong and, dominant S&D win to reestablish kind of who the dog is in the room because of how out of hand this series could get given the slaying power that whatever it takes has.
Yeah, no, for sure. Absolutely. And I mean, just for the map pool for this, I mean, we've seen whatever it takes thrive in a hardpoint setting on Bocage, but in Search and Destroy too, people obviously were Capsidal getting those mid pushes would really benefit. But I mean, this could be obviously as mixed as a match as you want it to be, because Bocage could be that way. But realistically, yeah, I'm of course we're big fans of snipers. Hopefully maybe we'll see some catching on those B-Long or even the Riverside there. But
yeah, we might get one round.
Maybe we'll see one come out one round. That's what we like to see, the Clay snipes. But no, just from it's Bocage. Anything can happen. We've seen crazy comebacks on this map. Maybe even a deficit of being down 0-5 and bringing it back 6-5. It just full sail. You never know. But interesting to see how this one goes. Huh? Hey, I'm just saying it could happen. Maybe not.
Interesting. I'm just listen. If we see a full sail, it would be almost appropriate to see a full sail between these two teams. But on top of that, given that it is Bocage, given how absolutely incredibly dicey it can be at times, this could very much come down to we have 2 players left alive, and there is still 1:10 on the clock. We've seen that often on Bocage. Numbers dwindle. Yeah. It's going to be very hectic.
And I just wonder, too, if just how much time that they've had to actually practice on Search and Destroy, because, a big benefactor was Too Real. He was obviously a crazy when it came to First Bloods. But, how their strategies are going to change up and how much time they had to adjust with Capsidal. But we'll see.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah. That's where that team chemistry comes in. But they do end up getting and doing whatever it takes.
Well, I think the benefit as well is that you could almost ask Cap to, not even that he has to remove himself from the game plan, but you trust his inherent instincts as an S&D player, and also the fact that he is a veteran. Like, at this point, at least in his tenure, though it is his rookie year, he has that veteran, I guess, quote unquote, experience of the CDL at the highest level, where he's played against the best S&D players in the world. So plugging him into this roster might not be as detrimental in terms of a practice perspective as one might think, given how good he is. Do you think that could come into play where maybe they don't worry too much about the structured 4-man game plan and they just rely on each other's skills?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's just like all these players obviously have natural raw skills. So that's a good take on it, Spaceman. Absolutely.
Thank you.
And well, the first blood obviously goes to DiamondCon here, top grandma. You see that bomb is down, and whatever it takes is a perfect triangle around this bomb, but they have to pick it up for the plant. And you mentioned Capsule. He has an automaton in his hand. So, you know, that kind of takes a little bit of that, a little bit more slower style of play here for getting those opening picks, but Royalty, look at his positioning here. Clayster does get some shots onto Royalty and ends up getting the elimination. So now on the bomb site, Classic does push Clayster off, and now it leaves the left alive with a 1 versus 1, but there is not enough time for the plant to go off, and well, that could have been interesting there. There's just an extra second. I would have been curious to see how that round would have turned out.
Oh, I think Cat picks up that kill for sure, but the beautifulness, that's not a word. Classic, nicely done to get Clay off the bomb, take round 1, and I feel like we might be seeing that a lot this S&D, where it very rarely will come down to, you know, who has to stick the defuse, but it might just be, does the game clock run out? Because you're looking at 8 of the smartest S&D players in the world who have all the reps in the world. You never know what you're going to get. Speaking of, how about a 4-2 hit? Right up the gut. On to A. Here we go. Pristini, DiamondCon, Classic, everybody all right in the kill feed. Here comes the bomb plant. Royalty getting it down. The only one's alive are Clay. He gets some shots through the wall, but as Brack falls, Clay realizes it's a 4v1. What do I do in this situation? Maybe try to buy time. They know where I might be at. With that said, there goes the door, and there goes Clayster. That was a quick round. 7:05 up 2-0.
Yeah, and of course, credits to DiamondCon again getting that first blood pick, and of course, he's 5-1 right now. So you gotta stop DiamondCon, that's for sure. But obviously, the play at 7:05 knew exactly what they wanted to do. Had that fast A hit, and of course, DiamondCon had Classic there in hand, just looking over him, and of course, getting his close support with that MP40 in hand. So Classic for 2, DiamondCon for 3. Both winning the attacking and the defending round now. Whatever it takes is down 0-2, but on the offensive side, this is actually an aggressive play coming from them. They're not playing as passive as they did last round, but you see, kind of posted up and pushed up into barn here. Capsule's pushing forward, and that bomb site is going to make its way closer to Grandma's as it inches, hopefully towards A, and maybe the play is to bait out for the plant, but looks like Fellow may stick it.
Oh, you saw him. Yeah, they're forcing the round forward, and there's the slide. Classic got burned. Okay, Fellow wins the big gunfight. Now 1 kill into the game, but that's a huge one as it maintains security onto the site. All the other members around, I think it's Pristini trying to work up front, and Fellow just runs right by him again. Pristini now on the hunt. Fellow, what are you shooting at, brother? There's still more members around. It's absolute chaos right now over towards A, and with all that's said and done, it seemed like there might be a push to the front, but the number split off for 7:05, and instead, we have a 3v1. That was really weird on a retake. Is it just me?
No, I literally, like, I was looking up, I was looking down, I was writing stuff down because there was so much that was going on, but no, first of all, yes, Fellow was in that position where he was planning, and then woo, rips off Classic's head, and then it gets a little bit scrambly mid, but you had Capsule who switched from that automaton to his MP40. He was holding down the mid lane, so I mean, I don't know if Fellow was trying to bait for him, or if like they just did some like crazy like work around, like shoot in a circle, like spin. I don't know, but Capsule had his back there, and they kind of just create complete chaos and thrive in it. 7:05 taking that must needed round to stop the bleeding from 7:05, obviously. Excuse me, whatever it takes, taking that round, rather. Stopping the bleeding from 7:05.
It's a big round. The way it happened was not as ideal, but you'll take a round win. 3-2 for Brack. Everyone else still trying to find their second and third kill. Classic, who's been huge in some tight corners before. Shots ring out. Here comes Royalty. He can't win the gunfight. Fellow again up close, winning another big one. 3v3.
Well, and the benefit of that, winning that elimination, Fellow, it's for 2 on Pristini now. 3 versus 2, but the bomb is down for 7:05, so back that Grandma's area, you can see it's classic. It is Diamond Con pushing through, and Capsule aware of this. I think he maybe got some intel that he heard Classic up top. And there it is, Fellow onto Diamond Con, who is working his way top. Grandma's now leaves Classic last alive in a 1 versus 2, and there's 20 seconds left. He's got to get that bomb down and get the plant.
Yeah, and group up here if you're whatever it takes. Not only is Fellow working, oh my god, he just ran past him. That's nice. Fellow dies, so no streak for him. 10 seconds to go. It's a 1v1. He has to plant, and surely Cap knows it. Absolutely he does. Whatever it takes. Do a very nice job of playing patiently to tie up this game.
Yeah, and credits obviously to Cap. I was going to say either he gets in a position where he can get behind Classic, or he runs away and play the clock or try to play a little bit closer to the bomb. But easy trades there, and of course, Fellow was a key factor of that round, getting that first opening gunfight again. And really just the battle of the MP40s and that battle in Grandma area and mid-map that have been won the last couple rounds for whatever it takes. Seems like the pace really changed when Capsule pulled out from the Automaton first round to that MP40, and now you see a fast aggression push towards bottom Grandmas again, but Pristini spots it, gets shots onto one.
You know, we were wondering, will we see like one round with a sniper? Maybe. Yeah, it's not happening. The pace of play right now, no chance. Whatever it takes, take the next round. It's been so quick, and it's not just that these rounds sometimes are going down to the wire. It's that we are starting the push on offense, and we are initiating the defensive first blood 10 seconds into the round. They are not wasting time. They're getting into position. They're forcing the round forward. So far, it has paid off. Whatever it takes, keep it rolling. Fellow having a very good game. Clayster finally getting 2 kills in that last round. He'll get himself up to dead even. On the other side, you know, Pristini hasn't found a kill yet, but other than that, I mean, he's been in position at times. Positioning's been fun. Just come down to the execution. Royalty looking for his second. He will carry the bomb all the way up in towards A. Capsule opens it up with first blood again through the back diamond on MP40. There goes Fellow. There goes Royalty. There goes Cap. 5 and 3 for him. Pristini, Capsule, and Brack, the only ones alive.
Yeah, that happens so dang fast. But once again, it's Pristini last alive with an automaton. So I wonder if maybe just like the pressure from whatever it takes is just too strong, too overwhelming for 705. And man, the shots in from Brack, who takes down Pristini. And again, with the aggression plays, bottom Grandmas, it's just to be won. And it seemed like Royalty, you know, had a position to where he could potentially make some damage, but it's just so hard if you don't have another teammate there to follow up with trades. It's just like realistically, you're just fighting at like a 1 versus 2, 1 versus 3 every single time. And well, it doesn't help. Yeah, Pristini's not necessarily having the best game right now. I think if he just can imagine to get a couple of key kills here, 705 can turn this around, but whatever it takes is really starting to run away right now with the scoreboard.
And I almost have him just at this point, for the sake of this game too, have him run the bomb. Like, you know, it's the oldest strat in the book. If a teammate is lacking in the slaying department, just have him pick up the objective.
Yep.
But so far, I mean, you have to give credit to those first bloods, whatever it takes. Certainly working off of that, the advantage has been theirs in almost every single round they've gained back. I believe it was a 2-0 lead for 705 before 4 straight unanswered. Royalty in the dashy spot. We'll see what happens. Nothing. Capsule working towards that P1 side, but instead we'll hop back in towards site. And he guesses correctly. Finds another. Classic will get first blood, but traded out evenly.
3v3, but Diamond Con, that's huge onto Capsule, but there's another 2 for Clayster and Brack, but at least Pristini last alive in a 1 versus 1 at least. But still, the wraparound from Brack as he holds the top Grandma's position and just too strong. 705, I see like kind of the play there. Whatever it takes is just getting into these positions to where they can get into Grandmas and take control of it. 705 kind of just played back that time and just to wait those pushes. But like, I feel like you just never want whatever it takes to get that mid-map control. And it's just so hard if you don't match the aggression with the subs that I just feel like maybe if Pristini pulled out a sub, maybe if he could just maybe switch it up a little bit, just find some kind of common ground. But like you said, maybe even plant the bomb. But Royalty not having the best game either. He does grab it, and now it's just kind of a post play here into Barn. But Fellow again with the first blood onto Diamond Con.
Yeah, and that's the underlying factor, is whatever it takes. Once they get in their spot early in the round, they're finding first blood like 90% of the time. 705 have found kills in those rotations when they've had to move to a site. They've had to kind of work through the back line and then hit the rotation. They have found kills to even out these rounds. But as soon as whatever it takes get up defensively, offensively, into the spots they need to be in, the spots they want to be in, that's like what, 4 first bloods for Fellow. Then you look at responses from Clay and Diamond, from Capsule, excuse me, and Brack. Like, it's done. It's so quick. Once they get in their spots, Ellen, the rounds are over. And that's the takeaway. That's 6 straight rounds. As soon as they got to where they needed to be, where they had wanted to be, the round was done. Like, nobody was contesting that.
No,
when we talk about getting momentums in S&D, right there. That's it right there.
That was the momentum. Exactly. I mean, and it's just like 705 really couldn't match what they had going on. Like, you just saw that constant aggression. They were playing towards A continuously. And I mean, I think the one round that 705, I think it was on the attacking side that whatever it takes lost, they were playing towards B, and of course Classic had that lucky play onto Clayster, and then ran away with that. But it just really feels like, you know, that first round Capsule kind of just using an AR, getting a feel for what they're doing, and then just really we're like, all right, we know what we're doing. Let's just keep going with it. Like, if a strategy keeps working, don't change it up. Just keep doing it, right? Yeah. I don't know. It just kept working for them, and A was the play, and 705 just really couldn't find a way to counter it.
That was a 6 and a half minute game of, I mean, I know it's a 6:53, but I'm rounding down for dramatic effect. That was a 6.5 minute game of S&D. Like, I am genuinely shocked it was that fast. Yeah. Granted, it was ridiculously well played and paced, but with all that said, folks, 2-0 series. We're gonna go to a commercial break. When we come back, we have Control, what could be the last map of this best of 5. You don't want to miss it. It's been a fun one. We'll see you guys in a minute. Welcome back. That break was like half of the game of S&D. That was fast. So this is now where we're at. It's a Control. If you're just joining us, whatever it takes, 2-0, currently up over 705 Esports. The Hardpoint was interesting, was close at times, but in the end, I guess the end of that Hardpoint was about as close as you would have seen in that entire game 1. That was really the big stretch. Everything else was really whatever it takes. And then that game 2 was 2 quality rounds, and then as soon as whatever it takes got into their spot on offense and defense, the round was over, and it was GG's. That was a 6 minute 50-second game 2. Now we go to Tuscan Control. I'm still like baffled at how quickly we got through that. Like, I thought that maybe we could see a 3-0 between this series, maybe because of the fact that Capsule's here and just the quality of the team, whatever it takes, without dispelling the confidence and the quality of 705. But Ellen, I didn't expect it to like be like that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I did not either. I know, you know, in the previous stage 705, that was one of their weaker areas. Like, they struggled a little bit with S&D and Control, but they were, you know, they have improved a lot. But still, like, you look at this next matchup, I mean, even on the Tuscan, and I mean, I don't even think whatever it takes has lost. I mean, they lost essentially, what, 2 maps and they both were Desert Siege S&D. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Capsule, obviously he's been popping off, but you got somebody like Clayster, obviously, who you can trust. But with Brack and Fellow, Brack has been playing out of his mind, playing in any type of role that he, he's just been doing everything for the squad as a whole. Like, this squad is just, they're looking so dominant. I don't know. I would be a little bit intimidated coming into this Tuscan Control, but I mean, it's obviously 705. They're just as good of a team. It's gonna be an interesting one, Spaceman, because I mean, could we have a potential 3-0 here from whatever it takes?
Yes, we could. Say it, Ellen. Yes, we could.
Different map. It's a different map, man. I'm a believer in the
Don't
reversals.
try to cod brain this. Don't even
I'm
try
not.
to. Don't even try to cod brain it. Be a caster. Be wrong. Be biased. Do it, okay? BUYEST. Come on, say it. It's gonna be a 3-0. All right. This is because you think dealing with someone like Fellow or Cap or Clay is gonna be tough on Berlin, where you can not easily but relatively more efficiently move behind them and try to play spoiler. It's going to be just as difficult, if not more, on Tuscan, where if they get any kind of positioning in mid-map towards bottom well, if they get anything top church, through fire, through radio, we understand how difficult it's going to be then, right? Like, because you're talking about power position upon power position and disrupting every kind of ebb and flow that you would have had. 705 have to hit, like, the massive regain right now.
Yeah, for real. And I'm going to be leaning, I mean, especially obviously it's on Tuscan. I'm going to be really leaning on those royalty pinches. I mean, he's really, really good at putting the team into those trading positions and setting up for those plays. So, I mean, like, going into this control, I mean, I don't know. I'm curious to see if that can happen. But as we look at the control leaderboard here, I mean, well, whatever it takes. You see the top two already. Brack and Clayster there with the KD 1.48 and a 1.40. So, I mean, non-trading kills look at even in the 78 percentages. So when you look at those stat lines, I mean, you got two of the best players in control right here, right now.
Yeah, I love seeing the nonsense chatter on social media where it's like, Clay doesn't have it. I'm like, you guys watching challengers? Because he's literally frying, and he has the stats to back it up. He's got the teammates as well. Brack is MVP so far of control in North America, and you look at across the board, you had Scrappy down there as well. Like, this is a very good control team. They carry the momentum they get from the S&Ds into these game 3s. But yeah, I agree with you. If you're like Royalty or Classic, you need to pull a Kismet immediately. You need to pull a Kismet, and you just need to make it as much of hell as possible. Whatever it takes, should always be worrying about what's behind them. But so far, it's been Classic and Royalty combining for 2, a couple of kills that go back and forth, but the life lead for the moment by 1 in favor of 705. We'll see what they do with it.
Yep, and then, I mean, you see Classic 2 pushed up into Church there, so you might get some timing here onto Clayster. He does, and Diamondcon to follow with Fellow. So, huge opening 2 there for Diamondcon, but look at this wrap from Capsule. Pristini spots it, though, so this may be an A cap here for 705 as they committed to this point first. And, well, huge one-on-one there from Brack to win on Classic over by B to stop at least any type of setup play that they could have for B, and really just for whatever it takes, it's just going to be about pushing, zoning forward. And well, if you look at the bottom half of the map, I mean, whatever it takes has control of all of it, and they know exactly where 705 are going to be funneling from. And well, that is 3 down for 705. Classic, the last alive through Church. And well, if he could stay alive here, he's going to have to basically wait for his teammates to push on through to the front.
You know, the longer it takes to take out Clay, the longer it takes to develop this push. It happens every now and then. Clay falling off the site, and Fellow just spawned close as well. So, I mean, if he gets one read through the Church, you're talking about shutting down Classic. That left cut's now open. You have all the advantage in the world to use a sub up close. Clayster wins the gunfight, and there goes the push. So 2 members fall. Some control here for Fellow. He flies in, still wins the gunfight, and dwindles the numbers down even more. Brack winning another big one at 4-2. Heard that player fall down well, and he will chase. So in this instance, if you are 705, it's getting a little bit hectic right now. Like you're getting a lot of one-on-one gunfights, a lot of these split center decisions that happen around those choke points. This is where you need to regroup as a team of 4, orchestrate a hit, use those utils, and then move yourself into a position to win a big 4-on-3, potentially 4-on-4 fight and work for spawns, because it just seems like they're getting picked apart right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, credits to Brack, who just essentially had the turnaround in that P5, and Capsule over on the grass side too, controlling that side of the map. So realistically, you're making 705 have to funnel in through rooftops, and essentially knowing that they're pushing through grass. So Clayster, he does hold the top Church, which essentially as important as you see fellow zoning forward and Pristini sneaking around in the back. So 705 could set up for a play here. They don't have much time to work with. Pristini and Royalty are going to work on through the back, but still, it's the call out. So whatever it takes, know exactly that there's 2 members back here. And, well, that leaves Royalty last alive. And another one down for 2 for Clayster in the front. Let's see if Royalty maybe can set up for a play, but they only got 20 seconds to work with.
It was a good start off on A, but they got congested very quickly and weren't able to split the numbers, and whatever it takes, more than happy to keep an AR in the back so that anchor spot not only secures spawns, it also keeps them from getting pushed out individually. And, well, look at the damage that's been dealt since then. 12-6 ratio there, 4 seconds to go. You get a push, maybe. That's it. That's going to be round 1. Whatever it takes, get it done in the early round on defense. And now they get to go to the offensive side, try their hand at things. And there was positives there for 705, but really it boiled down to a lack of control through radio, a lack of control to the back patio. And, you know, you were waiting for Classic to kind of make us move on to the point. We were waiting to see what fellow challenge from Bottom Church. They couldn't take out Clay. They couldn't get that lower cut secured. And that's kind of where the push ended and died, right? Like, it just... It dissolves quickly when there's not a lot of follow-up from those positions, and it wasn't Classic's fault nor anyone 705. They just kind of got outgunned.
Yeah, for sure. They couldn't capitalize on essentially any type of play, and well, that's unfortunate. We do have a lag out there. Royalty seems to have left the game, so we'll get that one started up. But at least whatever it takes did win the most important round, the defense, defensive side. And, well, credits at least to 705 for capturing some ticks over at A. But, yeah, realistically, Classic or Pristini or anybody who was actually getting around that back church, they really couldn't set up for any type of play because, of course, you had Clayster, you had Brack pushing out P5, getting set up rooftops, Capsule working the grass side, and just really never allowing 705 to get out of their spawn, really, and just making things a little bit mixy.
Yeah, it boiled down to kind of just execution, which I think was big in the S&D, continues in the control. In this situation, I think it's a positive that that round ended. I don't believe anybody was working on streaks, and it was 1-0. So, yay, we can hopefully just restart from whatever it takes starting on offense and wash our hands and move on. But until we understand kind of what the situation is and where we're going, let's give a quick recap of how this series started, as I believe we just heard that we're going to restart it from where we ended. Ellen, talk to us a little bit about how this series took place, where we found ourselves, and why we're here.
Well, obviously, we had to lag up that last game, but I mean, to start it off, it was whatever it takes, pretty much in the driving seat all across the board. I mean, realistically, on that Hardpoint Berlin, that would have been the map for 705 to take to bring this potentially to a map 4. But I mean, whatever it takes, respawn across the board, looking really strong. The Bocage, I mean, 705 did have the first opening round there, but it was whatever it takes, able to just really run away with that aggression. Big credits, of course, to Capsule, getting those mid pushes, and Brack, Clayster just doing, as a whole, the squad is just doing everything that they need to do. Yeah, even with the loss of 2 real, it really hasn't affected anything. Of course, it just picking up somebody like Capsule, obviously, you know what he brings to the table, and it really just makes no difference. Whatever it takes has just been completely dominating this stage.
Yeah, they have a 5-0 series record for a reason. They bring in an upgrade in Capsule, and you're thinking, okay, if this is the stable roster moving forward, like, I know Europe is packing a punch. I know that those boys are different. You know, we could be looking at whatever it takes, if they continue to move through and they get the results they're looking for, could we see them playing against Europe's best later in the year? I think it's possible. I heard we're ready to go. Let's put all those conversations to bed. Let's get back into the control. Ellen, it's Tuscan control, game 3, whatever it takes. We're up 1-0. We're starting off on the offensive side of things. In this spot, I mean, they got all the momentum right now, even with that quick break. You got to think they're going to come out the same game plan they had before the stop, and they're going to try to attack both sites early.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And essentially, like, even if this does go to around 5, 705, they do have obviously 3 ticks from that attacking side. So obviously we'll just pay attention to whatever it takes gets. But I mean, their play and strategies, they've been known to be able to, well, obviously they get the first two opening picks, but you know, they've been known to be able to sometimes split these pushes up so they can simultaneously capture B and A. But it's really about those mid gunfights. And I mean, well, realistically, what looked to have been somewhat of a strong start, 705 answer back and have a full wipe down.
Yeah. I was like, okay, who's going to watch the cut? No one. Okay, we're all good at that. Cool. That works.
Never mind.
You'll take it if you're 705. I mean, that's a win in any book, but now it comes down to the response, whatever it takes. Opened up the game with 2, 3, 4 kills in a row. Pristini trying to work through the back, and he might be lucky enough to get one. He will. Takes down Clay. Classic taking down Fellow. Bottom Church. Here we go. Here's that final push from 705 to get themselves towards mid-map and set up for what will be the next couple of waves of pushes. It looks like we were splitting our resources, and now whatever it takes, we're committing their eyes over towards B. So we draw our attention there. Brack winning 1 on a 4-on-1. We'll make it 4-2. Clayster working in radio. Successful so far. The second. Halo jumps over someone, gets it as well. That's beautiful as always. And Clay staying alive just creates more opportunities for everybody else.
Yeah, and I mean, Clay has been doing that. Like, you've been seeing this man fry with the MP40 and just switch, maybe just to apply some more pressure. So you see, while that was all going down over at B, 705 commit their resources to holding the B site. As you know, it's a little bit more important, but whatever it takes, do manage to secure the A site. So that is done and dusted. And now you see the back plays from whatever it takes working through back church. DiamondCon does spot this. So now it's the rotation coming back through 705, and this is going to be a huge gunfight to be won because DiamondCon now is getting overwhelmed from whatever it takes. Huge 2 for Capsule to secure the back, and now they have exactly where 705, exactly where they want them. And Fellow, of course, rooftops. He rotates over, and it's complete domination from Capsule now, who's on a 5 spree. MP40, AR, Automaton, it doesn't matter. Whatever it takes, at least get a tick on to B.
He's frying. 14 and 10 in the life count, whatever it takes, are just snapping from Fellow. 4 in a row for him, working on a glide bomb, and you're thinking, yeah, we're going to hold our horses here and try to feed him kills because, man, this could put that series away. Here comes a nade check. You got to think there's going to be a presence from 705 over on the patio. You get a couple of checks, so you're more than happy to hedge your bets and go for a push. It will be, but Fellow gets caught on the push. Brack and Clayster getting 2. Brack slides out and punishes for it. But so far as we slow down, I mean, you got to think, you play TDM here, you get this round. Maybe not.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's 11-6. Make it 10 now, but DiamondCon, aware of the Claysters pushing the back church area. That was a huge, important wipe, but realistically, whatever it takes, only has 1 real push towards the site. So you got to get a wipe. You got to get these plays. You see Clayster flanking all the way around grass side. He's got to go fast. And 3 members of whatever it takes they're just waiting. They're huddled up inside a P5. This could be very dangerous, but Clayster, he might not get there in time as all the kills in the front do ensue for 705. So that was huge for Classic, and that is not enough time. The important wipe that 705 needed to take this round.
Yep. They cleared out patio. They got 3 kills, and they already had 2 members of bottom church. So mathematically, Clayster can't be anywhere else except on the flank, and there he was. And there you see Royalty taking up the call immediately, and that's clinical from 705. That is a beautiful round on defense. They essentially do whatever it takes, whatever it takes did to them. Both teams get 3 ticks. Both teams secure A. Neither able to get B. And we go back to the defensive hold for whatever it takes. We'll see what they can do. Currently, this game is tied up 1-1. If you're just joining us, we had a quick pause. 705 took the first round. Whatever it takes. Excuse me. Whatever it takes. Took the first round. 705 took the second.
Yep.
I got it.
Sometimes the resets. Yeah, no, sometimes the resets can throw everything off, but either which way, that was a much needed win for 705 that last offensive round. Basically, essentially, both teams did win their defenses. So now on the offensive side, this time around, it is 705 that do manage to get a couple, it looks like maybe a tick and a part of one. Almost had that second one at A, but that was a huge save there from Fellow and Royalties. You see zoning forward into that church. This is what we said that he needed to do, kind of just get into position to set up his team for plays, and that's exactly what he's doing. So getting set up that back church area, he does get taken down by Fellow, and well, at least on the A site, better luck over here. DiamondCon wins a huge one on the Clayster, and they at least get this remaining time over at A, and now that just leaves B to capture.
Yeah, and we saw whatever it takes concede A before when we started this control. 705 not only get it quickly, but they snuff out that back spawn. They maintain a life lead of 6 or more, which is big. Now make it 7. So they have all the resources here. There is absolutely everything in the tank when it comes to putting this round away and going up 2-1 in the control. They have a life lead they can work with. They're building upon it. The confidence at mid-map is there. They broke the spawn through the back. They made sure no one was sitting like Clayster behind. Anchors are gone. Pristini is snapping it. 10-4 on a 6 spree. Make it 7. He will get it and the glide bomb, which just helps things down the line. That could pay dividends if needed. But with a minute 30 to go, I mean, unless we see a ridiculous hold like what 705 did just a round ago for whatever it takes, I mean, this has been a great response from 705.
Yeah, it really has been. And of course, credits to Pristini into getting into that back church area, getting those streaks, holding it down. And that was huge right there for 705 Esports as they open up through the front. And, well, Diamond Con at least there for the save, and Pristini's going to call his streaks in. So nothing able to connect on that, and a huge nade from Fellow to save the plays over at B. So with only a minute left, whatever it takes though, they only have 8 now, make it 7 lives left. 705 really, if they can just slay, maybe they can just end it here with the live count.
Yeah, you get a push, work together. Pristini can't win it. Here comes Royalty, though, and this is big. Now that he gets inside, you can start moving your members up, but Capsule meets him quickly. In control on the top radio, we move to the church. It's Clayster at 9 and 15, trying to turn things around. And they are starting to isolate members one at a time, and that's the big thing. 705 have not been doing great when it comes to winning their one-on-ones, especially when they're getting picked apart like this. But now they get a push, 4v12. Like, this is a ratio of 3 to 1. You just got to put numbers inside the point and force the challenge.
Yeah. Exactly, and that's exactly what's happening there, but it's still 19 seconds left. The problem is Classic's the last one alive here, so if Clayster can hold off the push rooftops, that this may actually be a win for whatever it takes, but that's really what it's about. There's only 8 seconds left, and, well, Classic does get in, but there's only 2 members left, and there's the group up play from 705 to taking a much-needed attacking round now, leading up 2-1.
Yeah, and it always gets a little scary when you're looking at a 16-5 game or 16-8, and you're thinking, yeah, it's easy to say TDM wins it because it does, but it's also about orchestrating that final push just to put the game, or I should say the round, away. In that moment, a little bit scary. You're thinking whatever it takes could burn time and keep winning these scrappy one-on-one gunfights between the lanes that all of a sudden force a 2-1 advantage. Instead, 705 slow it down, they call on themselves, and they get the round, and with that, they are 1 round away from sending us to another hard point and keeping this series alive. Currently 2-0 in favor of whatever it takes. 705 trying to claw their way back in. Pristini opening things up with first blood over at A, and Classic responding with 2.
Yeah, and give or take, if whatever it takes wins this, I think I'm not exactly sure how we'll have to configure maybe the ticks, but give or take, this is a really good start for 705 as defensively you see, well, Classic pushes out that rooftop spot, and they have him exactly where they want, whatever it takes to funnel through that P5. So the play is to push towards B maybe, but see if Clayster can get anything going here. But still, lives in favor of 705 as they continue to slay.
And they're losing lives so quickly. It's similar to last round where you're looking at a 27-20 game. And there it is again, 27-20. Consistent pressure, constant gunfights being lost by whatever it takes. Getting beat down, Pristini gets a headshot, why not? Now you got to commit. But as these nades fly in, it's going to make it that much more difficult to lock down A. You have to make a decision, and you got to make it now. 34 seconds to go. Pristini could play absolute spoiler for Fellow in front. There's a great headshot. He will drop, but maybe the damage is done here. Here come his teammates for support. Quickly, Capsule responding. Diamond Con getting 2 and a quick burn. And Clayster off spawn. Goodbye. Capsule, Diamond Con, both trading shots, but Fellow lands the nade. And everybody off spawn, trying to fly into the point.
Yeah, 21 seconds. They have to commit all resources towards A. So these are huge gunfights to be won. Bracken Capsule take down 2, but Diamond Con is still slaying out over here deep in the grass area. So now with just a sliver of a tick to be captured, Diamond Con still holding down the pressure at least. That is extra time allotted though for whatever it takes. So now it's the swing around over towards B, and that was a huge one for Capsule as he takes down Royalty. But you see 705 slowing it down and holding deep back church and back by the P2 pillars. Really, whatever it takes. Yeah, kind of figure out a funnel.
They're going to need the nades to connect for sure. You're going to have to take out someone like Diamond Con and Pristini immediately. Classic, so big on the kill, and there's Pristini to clean up Fellow. So as quickly as they had built potential push, look how fast it falls. Classic for 2. I think that might do it. You got 40 seconds. It's 15-6. You can just post up and watch. And Royalty got stuck. It's okay. But there goes the push to the back church. Diamondcon picks it up. Almost smokes Clayster. You get one push, and here it comes.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically it. They have to hold it right here. So if they can win this huge one onto fellow Classic, was able to take him down, but still, it might not be enough. There's only 3 lives remaining. Capsule's last alive on the point, but still, if he can manage to pull off a miracle, it's something that we haven't seen before. That's it for 705, able to take 3 straight rounds from that first defensive side in a favorable fashion. And I mean, credits, of course, to Diamondcon really turning it up. And I mean, as a whole, 705 just completely changed the pace around from that first map, it seemed like. Or from that first round, rather.
Yeah, that's surprising. And like, granted, you get a break, you get a chance to kind of talk things over, slow everybody down. But I think what was surprising was it was 3 straight consistent rounds of dominance. It was just we're going to control the life lead. We're going to shut down any push you try to orchestrate. And every time we saw a regroup from whatever it takes, as soon as they pushed out, they were met by immediate pressure, and 705 wasted no time converting those kills into positions. That was huge all the way through. And even with quick moments where whatever it takes had the upper hand, 705 had an answer.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, at one point, you know, they were doing a great job of isolating those members and able to get into positioning, but still, it was just credits, of course, to Diamondcon. And I feel like Clayster, too, from that first defensive round, like, I feel like he kind of slowed down a little bit. I don't know, maybe if the reset kind of just messed up a little bit of the vibes going on from the first, or somebody got streaks, but it just seemed like, yeah, 705, that's exactly what they needed to take a little bit of a breath of fresh air. And Pristini, he was really a key benefactor, too, of even setting up for some of those captures over by the B site, because he was getting back church in that god tank in the back and just kind of holding those rotations, holding those spawns over from the field side. Christina did a really good job at setting up and for plays, and of course everybody else, Classic Diamondcon, just slaying out of their minds, doing a very good job of getting those offensive kills across the board. Everybody did a good job, but it just really sometimes those resets really can affect momentum. I'm not gonna say that is the leading like factor as to why 705 like took this game, but sometimes it can make a difference. But regardless, they came back with the heat and did what they needed to do to take the win.
Yeah, absolutely did. And they made this series much more interesting. Even there, 14-24 for Clay. A slow game. Could it have been different if things didn't go the way they went? Sure, but off the reset, it was 3 straight rounds of nonstop perfection, really, in that control. 705 off the backs of Classic and Diamondcon specifically really stepped up. Diamondcon went absolutely huge over towards A. Pristini, a couple of big gunfights that when he wins helps open up the defensive hold, and Classic constantly on the roam, constantly being an annoyance. Huge round, and we talked about it. Royalty and Diamondcon kind of being the engine for this team. Diamondcon had a ridiculously good performance, and if that last couple of kills don't come through on A, if it doesn't shut down a lot of that first wave of attack from whatever it takes, they might not win that round. Like, it were still lives there for whatever it takes, and there was still time to get to A. Diamondcon stepped up big, 16 untraded kills, Classic 18. He had a phenomenal game, and now we get ourselves to a hardpoint, to a game 4. It's happening. Mm-hmm. It's happening again. We've had 2 game 5s today. We're gonna get another one. Here it comes. Tuscan Hardpoint up next.
Yeah, and you know, I really thought too with that control. I'm just thinking, man, 705. I know that they played destroy the odds on that map, and it was destroy the odds that won that in their favor 3-1. So you know, when you just look at the teams, you're like, okay, whatever it takes. You know, obviously better team, CDL pros basically. I really thought this was going to be a quick 3-0, but now that it's not, 705, if they can continue playing exactly like they played in that control, just Pristini setting up for those plays, Diamondcon holding those AR sites with the automaton, this Tuscan can be really scary. But I don't know. I feel like, what do you think? What do you think whatever it takes needs to win this one? Because I mean, I don't know. We know how good they are at Hardpoint, but I mean, if you let the lead get away from you, at least on like Tuscan, like a smaller map where it favors more of that sub-aggression, where you know, players like Royalty Classic have been doing a phenomenal job on. I mean, I don't know. It's like, do you think who would be the one to help Capsule? Who can they step up to the plate? Because during that Tuscan, obviously 705 just ran away with those last 3 rounds.
I mean, we have said in these respawns, we've said Clayster's name a bunch with a couple of big engagements. We have said Fellow a ton. We have said Brack a bunch, but it felt like in general, like Capsule's been having fine games, but he hasn't had like that explosive run of like 5, 6, 7 kills. They kind of break open a hard point, break open a control, and swing the momentum back in favor of whatever it takes. So I guess my answer to your question about who needs to help Cap needs to help Cap. We need to see him have one of those performances of, oh, he's going to take over the middle of a hard point? Okay, then yeah, they win. And if that's the case, if we get that kind of slay-heavy performance, it takes pressure off Clay, it takes pressure off Fellow, and Brack can continue just to be an absolute nuisance and challenge Classic. This is going to be a very interesting hard point because I think 705 have figured out a small remedy, which is the range battle that's been going their way. If it continues, they absolutely can bully these lanes home and get themselves into a hard point.
Yeah, for sure. It was Pristini Classic opening up with those kills there, and of course, Royalty to follow with 3, but still, it is going in the way of 705 Esports, who essentially have been soaking up this time. There's only 8 seconds left, and, well, whatever it takes to get the break there. And the problem is for 705 is that they don't have these rotation, they don't have the rotation for new, as, well, already Brack awaiting. Pushed up, shuts the door there, slams it in their face.
It's so
and
weird to see.
It's so funny and so weird to say that we're closing doors in Call of Duty still, but hey, makes it more interesting. See, at least you see all members in his sight. Oh my goodness.
Well, luckily, Pristini gets a team kill, so you walk away with nothing, but it's like net 0. You get a kill, lose a kill, there's a 4 wipe, and guess what? It works out, so that's best possible scenario so far. Pretty good. All blue in the kill feed and a lead that continues whatever it takes, finding their way through this hill currently as Brack on your screen, automaton in hand, sliding into the hard point. One around the corner will not win it. Classic still alive somehow, and Royalty will pay the price for his challenge in bottom church. Here come the nades. Classic dropping, Diamondcon dropping, Pristini dropping, Brack, Fellow, Clay, all contributing in the kill feed. We go to the back fountain now, and this is a big hill. Like, you chain these two together, you got yourself a nice lead for whatever it takes.
Yeah, and this was huge from whatever it takes because, okay, you have Clayster middle cutting down 2, and I mean, they have the call that there's at least 1 player pushing through that grass side, but it really was Fellow on the key play there to secure the spawn. But as I say that, 705, of course, pushed through the grass and at least secure some type of contest heavy, but it is whatever it takes. Still in the back, and Fellow, I mean, he's 10-4 right now. He's kind of that person that's been stepping up this map because he's been taking those longer routes around the map and securing the rotation and cutting off, like, you know, middle and helping his teammate out, of course, Clayster to follow. So whatever it takes, have a good hold on to this 70-point mark, and there's only 23 seconds left. And again, on the rotation, you see, it is Capsule getting ready, waiting patiently for that new, and 705 kind of left on the brink to push toward the old, and, well, it helps when Clayster's beaming like that.
Fellow's had a very good series, and he's a player who has not gotten the respect over the years that I think he rightfully deserves. He's steadily consistent through challengers to the elite, even when he was up with Dallas last year. So the Fellow has had a very, very solid run for the past couple of years, and he's consistently putting up numbers even here. 12-5, very good, very great start, really. 8-11 for Clay on the other side. Pristini getting things going. Classic having a good start as well. I mean, everyone performing, pulling their weight in this lobby, but it's just come down to a couple of key breaks, but so far, so good on the hold. 705 looking for the pressure through the back. They do have a spawn there because of Pristini's presence. Now, you can try to funnel numbers in through the point, but for whatever it takes, they are swinging far out towards that A control spot, trying to work through the back church. And now comes the push with first nade, and Diamondcon shutting down the front.
Yeah, and I mean, credits to Diamondcon too and Royalty for who he's at a 5 streak right now. Diamondcon secured the spawns out in the back church, and he has a sub, the MP40 in hand, so kind of winning those opening engagements to secure the time really does bring 705 into the lead. Obviously, that's 94-78, but gunfights to be won. Brack just opened up with 2 on that rotation towards P5. It is 705 though, who do win the engagements. Clayster's last alive here with Fellow, and, well, that opens up 2 more, leaving Pristini to fight from the church side. And, well, 2 members of 705 Esports spawning out. They're going to have to create a pinch, and they got to go fast. See Royalty doing just like that from the middle, but Clayster wins the gunfight on the initial, and Capsule to follow. So it's whatever it takes that are at least sucking up time here on the P5 here.
This has been clinical. I mean, Clay stays alive. Then if you're 705, you have to worry about him down to the well, down the steps. He gets 3 kills in the hard point. You get a wipe from the team. You build on time. You're continuing to find kill after kill, wipe after wipe. And here comes Fellow's chance to do some work. Good for one. At least gets enough of a contest with Brack in the opposite corner. He's going to meet a couple of nades, so he has to fly out and takes 2 with him down to the grave. And Brack is starting to light up. Diamondcon out in front. Brack, make it 3. This is a huge response in the hardpoint, taking a page out of Clayster's book. And, well, the lead has benefited from it. Going to be around 120 to 103 by the time anyone from 705 gets near the hill. Closest is Diamondcon. You have Classic working in tandem, and on the other side, Pristini on the top of the minimap. But here comes the contest and the push. Finally, all red in the kill feed, they get themselves in the hill.
Yeah, and I mean, just securing those first like 20 seconds there, whatever it takes, it was really Capsule securing the rotational kills there on the rotation. But really good break from Pristini and Diamondcon through the back, and while the nades do follow and suit to stop that push, from whatever it takes, the best grass on there. So yeah, it's realistically, if you're whatever it takes, maybe just get set up and wait, cut off the spawn for the rotations for a new, and well, that's kind of what they're doing, just kind of holding that back church side. Pristini does win a couple of gunfights onto old, and well, Clayster just kind of keeping 705 just trapped over here, pushes for the remaining 4 seconds, but falls. I wasn't sure, maybe just to kind of keep pushing them back if that was the play there, but you see whatever it takes spread across, set up for this P2, ready awaiting, and well, amazing nade from Diamondcon to open up the play, and it kind of leaves whatever it takes scrambly. That 705 is so good with their utilities and utilizing their nades.
And they just swarm onto the point so quickly. The numbers dwindle, but whatever it takes, trying to fight back from the backside. Classic eating a nade on a 3 spree of his own, just trying to stay alive for as long as possible. But around the ring, it's Capsule, Brack, and Clay getting 3 to wipe the point. They haven't gotten radio. Never mind, Clay's gets it. Okay, that helps. Brack right into P5. You've seen him before in this spot. He took down 3 last time the engagements happened. 21 and 18 for Clay. A very good middle part of this hard point. As we hit the halfway mark in Game 4, it has been as back and forth as you'd like, Ellen. You know, we joke about Game 5s all the time. We joke about series going the distance and being closer than the score line. This is another one where we're halfway through, and it is literally neck and neck.
Yeah, absolutely. And Diamondcon, literally, as soon as he pulled out a sub, like, it's been... just these rotational kills are winning for 705, but Clayster here is going to be looking to do some damage. Pristini doesn't get spotted out in the back, takes him down. So now with Pristini tucked away in the deep spot, I mean, it got 705 just in positions to where they're just setting up to stop these front pushes and winning those gunfights. So now with only 34 seconds left, it's whatever it takes, funneling in through Ivy, and, well, the nades do ensue, and Brack does take down Classic. So if you're whatever it takes, I mean, how much time do you commit to this? You kind of do. You commit all of it because you don't want 705 to reach any further of a lead that they already have, but it's not enough. 705 with the wipe, and of course Pristini, Royalty, everybody's slaying out in terms of the sub stat line is to be benefited here, but I don't know, whatever it takes, they have to hold right here, and well, they have to stop the push coming from field.
Yeah, I don't hate the commit at all because you don't want them to cross 200, but even then, you push 3 up, you lose 3. Luckily, you had spawn, so you could just sit in the next hard point. So you gain nothing, you lose nothing. You get a little bit of contest time, but from here, you can't win it on this hill. However, neither can 705, so we'll be going to another rotation. Fellow in the bottom of the church, positioning up top for 705. How long can they hold on to it with Classic picking up Brack? It might open up the swing through the back, and it will. Capsule with a great read on 2. That's huge to shut down the push in the front. Now all your numbers are behind. Capsule turns on 3. Caps it all with 4. No, Pristini shuts him down, but the damage is done, and the lead should be back for whatever it takes. The spawns are back for 705, but now they're kind of pinched. They have to worry about hitting the rotation and getting back out to mid-map because you already have Capsule out there ready and waiting, and he's going over to P5.
Yeah, and pretty much from here, like, the hills have pretty much been scrappy for the most part, but last time around when it was Fellow that was really doing a great job at controlling these stairs, and of course Brack controlling the rooftops. So, well, Pristini, a huge one onto Capsule, does slay him out, and now the pinch comes through for 705. Something they do so well is breaking hardpoints together, and, well, Classic and Royalty picking up 2, make it 3 now. That's 4 down for whatever it takes, and now it's just the subs raining in for 705 Esports, and they just have to realistically hold, but look how far forward that Royalty is zoning.
No team can win it here. We're going to go to another hill. 705 can't win it here. Oh boy, here we go. Obviously, whatever it takes should know that. They do need to contest, but they also have to worry about just maintaining spawns. I mean, I get it. Classic's picking up 2 pieces left and right, and that's why Brack's at mid-map right now. He knows they're not going to win it here, so you have to rotate. You have to go, and these are where the gunfights become so important. That's 3 dead. All blue in the kill feed, but Brack's still trying to contest just for a little bit of time. Has absolutely nothing to save for. DiamondCon is just smoking everybody, but this is where the gunfight in the game comes down to. Clayster wins a big one in the back. Almost 2 royalty for 2 in the break. That's huge for 705. They just need 2 seconds. They got to get in. They got to contest. Brack trying to stay alive. Numbers need to funnel on up, but 705 get their feet in. The flying, the challenging, the win. Ellen, we got ourselves a game 5.
Here we go. This is what we asked for, right? Oh my goodness. But
man.
my goodness, 705 really turned up there, and I just feel like just even from that Tuscan, from that control, it was just that sub pressure, and DiamondCon was one of those key factors that were securing those rotational kills, and of course royalty to follow, who just kept applying the pressure over and over again. And players like Clayster obviously leaving, and it's really hard to counter obviously when you're a little bit of a slower player, but it just really seemed like the subs all across the board. I mean, at one point we saw 4 subs out for 705. I mean, they did their job. They did it well. What another close hard point between these 2 squads.
Man, today, this is the way it's going today, isn't it? Like, we started off with AYM and Katana. That was a 2-0 lead for AYM. Then it went to a game 5. We went to Rocker and Awababobs. It was back and forth up until a game 5 win for Rocker. And now in North America, 2-0 lead for whatever it takes. All of a sudden, 705 force a game 5. Now, the last time we saw S&D, this is me inhaling dangerous, lethal amounts of copium. The last time we went to an S&D, whatever it takes got to their spots, and they smoked 705 off the board. Like, it wasn't like, oh, this is close. It was not. Granted, the momentum seems to be with 705. They've been reading and reacting to these counter punches left and right in the control, in the respawns, in the hardpoint. But we're going to S&D. We're going to game 5. I know the momentum's on their side, Ellen. But I have to think, with the way the last one went, you're telling me they're not going to get to their spot again?
I don't know. This is such a coin flip. I mean, that's kind of been the name of Vanguard, right? It's been a coin flip. You don't know. I don't know. But it's just going to be really interesting to see because, yeah, I mean, whatever it takes when they got into their setups, I mean, I feel like they figured out the plays that they wanted to make, and then, like, they just executed them every single time. But, like, you can't do that on a map such as like Desert Siege. Like, you can't play so close and so fast in terms of bocage. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting to see if whatever it takes can counter that. But I mean, 705, they just do such a good job. They've been doing such a good job, at least with just countering these last 2 respawns. So I don't know. I think it's possible. We'll see. But
I'm mind blown.
I don't know. I'm a little bit too, because I think low key we thought this was going to be maybe a 3-0 with how it was going, but
we are going to enter our 15th game of Call of Duty today. I love it. I love that we're getting this weird this late in the season, but till we get there, we got to go to a break. When we come back, game 5 in the conclusion for our first North American series. We'll see you guys in a minute. Welcome in to the Twilight Zone hour of Call of Duty, because we have entered that stage of just, like, it's just weird. Now, it's not that it hasn't been expected. We have been asking for Game 5s all day, but I think in the fashion of which has just been so consistent has been like, a team has a clear lead, and then they lose close games, and boom, we're in Game 5. A team has back and forth lead, boom, we're in Game 5. And yet again, we're here. Now, will Ironblood and Destroy do the same? I don't know. But I have to bet on it at this point, because we are going to a Desert Siege Game 5, Ellen. The series is tied 2-2. We had a restart in the control. And since that restart, it has been a different 705. They have just figured it out. They have been on the same page. They aren't making small mistakes. They're winning their gunfights. Bada bing, bada boom. Now we're here. And no, we're not.
Well, you know what? This is just unusual. But at the end of the day, yes, it just really seemed like that whatever it takes from that reset, just, I mean, we saw the respawn in the Berlin, and it just was that ability for whatever it takes to just chain on a couple of hills. 705 able to capitalize, I think, on that P3, and then that Bocage, just whatever it takes, just really ran away from it. Up 2-0, up 1-0 on the first round of on control on Tuscan, I think it was in the defense. And then from that reset, it just like it completely changed. So I don't know what type of pep talk that 705 had, but it's obviously working in their favor. Switched up a gun. Diamond Con, I mean, we saw running that sub in that Hardpoint, slaying out. I mean, and off the break too, they had a really good break off. Like, and we said that those breaks really set the pace. Whatever it takes did it in the map 1, and then 705 did it in the Tuscan on the Hardpoint. It was Diamond Con winning those opening engagements with that AR, of course, Pristini to follow, and then they had, like, for that P1 hill, complete AR dominance, and then boom, switch it up, you get to P2, P3, and then it's just like they completely played from that sub aggression, pushing out fire, Royalty getting those amazing zoning like kills forward, and then of course the rotational kills coming through for Classic. And just as a whole, 705 just kind of just really ran away with the positions that they were in, and of course the holds that they had. They capitalized on almost every given moment that they had.
Yeah, we're here now. We're here into Game 5. This is where we are at. It is literally 8s. I love it. I'm a big fan. But it has been a hell of a ride. And again, to remind you, this is a whatever it takes squad that has only lost 2 maps in the entire season so far. And they've lost 2 tonight to 705. Now, granted, you could... it's not about the argument of, like, this team is number 1 and this team's number 3, so they're close. It's more of like the players on both teams. This is probably to be expected. If any team was going to take 2 maps off of them today, it probably would be a team full of former CDL, CWL pros who have that kind of experience against the likes of whatever it takes in that squad. That totally makes sense. But it's just like, okay, you know, the number 1 seed lost 2 maps all season, and they come in here and they're in a Game 5 all of a sudden, so they still have a chance to hold on to that number 1 spot. But Ellen, I feel so confident, yet not at all, about my prediction going into Game 5.
Well, and that's the thing. The 2 maps that they lost were 2 S&D Desert Sieges.
Dun, dun,
to DTO, Destroy the Odds, and to 3 Kings Gaming. So the confidence going into this, I would hope that they're high. I mean, regardless, it was a close game. But I mean, 705 did lose to DTO on this as well. I know it was a 6-5, but still, regardless, like if this is like both the teams is like kryptonite, I mean, this could be a really big coin flip, because 705 lost on this map too. So it's like, I don't know. This is going to be an interesting one. But of course, there was different rosters last week, at least in terms of whatever it takes. They did lose 2 real in that, and well, I mean, it didn't look like it made a big difference in the first opening 2 maps, but here we are. Yes, of course. This is, again, just Vanguard all year long with every game, almost every series. I mean, I know we've seen crazy runs. It's just, sometimes it can be that way. It is a coin flip. It's just, you never know. And honestly, again, I didn't think we were going to be here. But I'm glad. I mean, I don't mind that we are. It's going to be an intense game. It's going to be excited. Here we go off the break. Whatever it takes. Getting aggressive plays into that bottom palace and starting it off. Steeney with the first blood on the Clayster.
I am very happy we are here. It's been a hell of a day. Let's get into it. First blood already. 705 taking down Clay. Got Capsule on your screen. Bomb carrier is Fellow. And he will find Pristini getting over-aggressive, but here comes Classic right up the back, shutting things down. And the spread right now for 705, so advantageous. The amount of different avenues they have at their disposal to lock down this site and to put pressure on Bomb, should it get planted. Really comes down to whatever it takes have up their sleeve to make this one work.
Yeah, and they just have to isolate a pick maybe and see if they can wait for one. But there's a spot from Classic. It does get tagged up by Capsule, able to get away with his life. So we got a little bit of an information where members are of 705, but Fellow doesn't get to connect onto Diamond-Con, Diamond-Con trades him out here, but Capsule laughs alive and not really able to capitalize anything. It's 705 who take the win, and well, credits to Pristini. I mean, he really got that opening first blood, of course, onto Clayster, and a Classic made a stop to anything that could have potentially happened towards that A site. Holding down the trains, locking down Palace, and he gets 2. So great defensive hold there from 705.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I don't know. We'll see.
Will we see the snipe?
We'll see how they can counter back here.
Will we see the snipe?
Will we see it?
Of course, there's Clay opening it up with 2. It is important to remember that whatever it takes, sitting first seed in North America so far. And for the other side, you got Ultra Academy NA right behind him, following up by 705. So there is a bit of room to move. Great patience from Classic to secure the kill. Now to 1v3. Quality shots, but just not enough to clean up.
Yeah, but the information is there at least. I mean, you see members, whatever it takes, slowly inching their way forward. I mean, Clayster from the top, Capsule from the side. And that was 3 for Clay that round. Of course, opening it up with the first 2 picks down that A train site. It really, he's just essentially got those the first 2 opening bloods and just stopped the push that 705, they just could not make any type of play towards the A site. Stop the push and Clay for 3. It's a very good round from whatever it takes just to stop that. I mean, it was very clinical, of course, but can't let Clay get those 2 pieces, that's for sure. Now the Bomb this time swinging around towards the B site. You see Clay working the outer. Not a sniper in hand, but nonetheless, it's Royalty with the opening pick there on
It's the same conversation. You just can't let 2 kills go by quickly into a round. Whether you're on offense or defense, how difficult it is to get into your spot, let alone create the setup you wanted when you don't have the numbers. Clay's got nowhere to go. Valiant effort. Gets 1. If he 1v4s this, I'm going to scream. He's still alive. Okay. Got it. Cool. 705, get around. A little bit scary, but that makes 2 for them. And listen, like, I think the big takeaway again is just both teams, something they did really well. And this is even harkening back to the Bocage S&D in Game 2 earlier on in this series, where it was not only just the fact that whatever it takes, we're getting to their spots quickly, but they were getting the first and second blood immediately. And that just shut down the round. 705 are doing the same thing. They're getting 2 kills. They're continuing the round. They're pushing the round forward. Whatever it takes, when Clayster got those opening 2 kills, the round was essentially done. Positioning-wise, what 705 had to do to retake, that is the danger of a map like Desert Siege. And especially against these players, you're not often going to see 2v4s happen. So we'll see who gets first blood here, but it really could spell success for this round of 705, looking to go up 3-1.
Yeah, and a lot of credits to, of course, those fast pushes from, it was Royalty and Classic through the middle site. They were able to get down towards the stairs and cut down that bomb that was working its way towards the B site. So now the plan off and the aggressive push towards A. All remaining members of both teams are up right now, and that bomb has been planted. So you see the long wrap from Brack going all the way around to isolate members towards the train site. But, I mean, he has these ables to open up Pristini in the back. The clock is dwindling away, and Capsule dancing around this train site, able to take down Diamond-Con and maybe make it the second onto Royalty. So now that leaves the Classic last alive 12 seconds. He just needs to let this clock run and maybe get the pick onto the bomb if he can get it.
Oh, we just can't. Great job by Brack. Guardian Angel, and that's exactly how you play it. You hedge your bets. You expect where the push might come from. You know they're going to challenge on the site. Nicely read by Brack to tie it up, and it's very big being tied 2-2 versus 3-1, but just for mental sake. Being down 3-1 can be very frustrating when you feel like some of these rounds that have gone by, you've just gotten picked too early to orchestrate what you wanted. That was a big round win in a 2v1 to keep this one tied up You got Capsule at 2-2, Clayster leading so far for whatever it takes. On the other side, Classic leading the lobby at 5-3. He's been crucial in some of these late game or late round situations in closing out those rounds as well. Fellow has the bomb. Looks like it's going to be a B call. Do they expect royalty over in the dunes? It looks like they do, but does Clayster pick it up?
Yeah, and the last time around, it was Classic that was able to sneak on through, but DiamondCon, huge win on to Clayster that takes down 2. Now, already it's a 3 versus 2. The bomb is down. So at least with a little bit of information, Brack was able to take down Pristini, that back palace area, but the repositioning from DiamondCon was almost immaculate. As not only does he take down Clayster, but then he goes around, wraps all the way around in the back, and then works the outer point and just wins these opening engagements. Pristine shots coming in from DiamondCon to secure that round.
He's always been different. I mean,
Facts.
I had my brightness all the way up, and I was like, where is that guy? Yeah, that's different. 3 speed for DiamondCon. Outside of Clay and Brack's 2 rounds ago, it really hasn't been much. I mean, there's been a first blood here and there, but Clayster with those big 2 kills 3 rounds ago is really what got them that win. Your bomb carrier is Royalty, currently on your screen, meeting a couple nades and has Clay backing up, but I don't think that nade will connect for anything. Luckily, Capsule on the flank shuts down that party quickly, and Clayster responds.
Yeah, and that the setup from Clayster and Capsule right there is they did get a little bit of information from 705, but the positioning from whatever it takes, and just to being able to set yourself up for those trading positions. Pristini last alive in a 1 versus 3. It is not enough, and that was a beautiful hold from whatever it takes. And 705 really, they just that fast push from Classic just got caught off guard, not really expecting Capsule laying down there through the back door. It just, you know, you get that information that there's a player in back and you try to isolate them really, really quickly. And that's just kind of whatever it takes for setup for those defensive pushes. And it really worked out in the end. 3-3 now. We have a game here, that's for sure. And now on the attacking side, we saw whatever it takes kind of favor B. And this time around, you see long on the outskirts.
Wow.
It's Fellow with the opening first pick, the gunny onto Pristini.
And he stays alive. That's so big. Because now, if you're going to make a play over to A, you better hope you have at least someone around to help for the trade. Fellow's still alive. Oh my god, if he did that, GG's. Classic does get the kill, but he is stunned currently. Brack didn't have the ankle on the cross. And nade checks fly out. Here's Royalty onto the site. Can't win the kill. Royalty around does get it finally, but bomb is down. 2v1 again. Now a 1v1. Classic. Do you have another one in you? We saw you do it in game 2. Clayster on the outer barrel. And Classic rechells. It's very dangerous as well. He has to hit the defuse and pick up the kill. And a one-on-one against Clay. Shots ring out. Here he comes. Clayster, he's right on your head. Here he goes. Clay. Can't win it. Classic. Did he get there in time? No, he did not. Buys enough, and that is a huge round win for whatever it takes.
Yeah, and that was obviously credits to Clay right there. I mean, you have the bomb down. You don't need to over challenge, and just a smart plays from Clay just to sit down, wait. I mean, let Classic push you because essentially you're wasting more time, and that was just a perfect setup right there to win. And oh my goodness, I mean, credits to Fellow though. Just that opening beam onto Pristini, like that was huge to open up 2 for the back for essentially while that was happening towards the A site, the bomb was going down towards B, and well, Capsule got that bomb down, and the distraction was just enough. Fellow, great shots in there to secure that round. And there it is again.
Man, and he stays alive. Like, it's so big. It's not just the fact that he gets the kill, but you have to worry about him again. Luckily, though, if you are 705, you're able to take down Clay. Capsule quickly responds on the Royalty, and there's Fellow for 3 in the round. He is going big. Massive. Colossal.
I'm getting a sense of... I'm getting a little sense of deja vu here right now, Spaceman. Like, whatever like literally, like 705 winning the first maybe round, and then here we go, whatever it takes, just capitalizing in every moment, understanding what's going on, and then boom, Fellow just pops off. He did the same thing in the Bokash, getting those opening picks. 3 streak for him. So
he's a tall guy.
Yeah, very.
I've hugged him. He's like 6'5". Tyler the Demon. They're 1 round away. I have given up on all semblance of normalcy now. It's weird nicknames and big bombs. There we go. That nade almost connected on the Royalty, which Surly's around. Clay, great shots from Clay. Royalty will get punished. 3v3 to cap here it.
And the repositioning.
If he hears the hop up, I mean, he's good, but I don't know if it's enough. I think Pristini, there he goes. Yeah, it's just one peek from Cap. He played so patiently.
Yeah. It's a shame there, but you leave Classic now. I was going to say there's Classic, but, you know, Diamondcon, I think he was committing way too many resources looking for Clay on the outskirts, but still now you kind of see like a weird spread of thinking, well, maybe the bomb is going towards B, but no, it's going towards A. So whatever it takes, they do get the bomb planted. And now look how tucked away they are in their spawn is essentially they're playing so far back that, well, Classic, if he can isolate maybe one member, he takes down Clay, leaves it at 2 versus 2, but there's only 25 seconds left.
That was a route and a half from Classic, but it actually gets great timing and a stun. So that's where you get Diamondcon to get the call, and I would push through the back to make sure there's nobody checking from the back bomb. But Fellow, again, gets the one-on-one. This is exactly what he wants. He just has to play time. Fellow, extra shots, extra damage. He might have done just enough. Just got to waste a second. Goodbye, Fellow. Got him into the dirt. Fellow, you tall Tyler Demon. 6'6" hunk of a man.
Oh my
6'3".
goodness.
GG.
GG's. I mean, kind of the same story, different dance, but really the last 3 rounds there, wow, Fellow just turned up there at the end. And kind of the patient plays really, again, after getting that bomb down. I mean, Clayster won it the last attacking round, playing patiently, that 1v1 versus Classic. And then Fellow, I mean, Classic almost got the timing, taking that long route, but wow. Fellow, I mean,
wild.
I mean, yeah. The man's a monster. I mean, as you can see, he's making a statement.
I mean, that's a great win for Fellow, really, because, again, just getting the power of Fellow and Clay back together, it's great. Ridiculous good map. 705 almost had, and Classic so often in this series was making big routes. Like, Roundman gets paid, of course, but in the end, whatever it takes in the S&D has proven to be too much to handle for a lot of teams. We started off with a Hardpoint. It was whatever it takes, took it 250, 231 in Berlin. We followed in with Bocage, where it was not close by any stretch. Whatever it takes won that as well. Then we went to Control. It was a 1-0 lead in Control before we had a quick pause, and then after that pause, coming out of that pause, 705 just smoked their way through. Then they went to the Hardpoint, did the same thing, and it was a much closer Game 5, Ellen, than I think many might have expected. Now, granted, the series was close regardless, but like, this was the proper Game 5. I think the Game 2 should have been. It should have been this close. It was just, in the end, Fellow was just better than everybody else in the lobby. He just had a better performance than everybody else.
Yep. It seems like all that rank play grinding and streaming is definitely paying off, because I tell you what, rank play kids, man, they got the strats, okay? But Fellow, I mean, having the strats is cool, but obviously having the gunny is more important. And he was just essentially, just really kind of ran it away with the momentum there. And whatever it takes, holding on strong. I mean, securing dominance. I mean, that puts him at 6-0, and secured. Playoff spot secured.
That's a terrific performance all the way around from the team.
First.
And a great inaugural debut of the wonderful, as always, Capsule. I know this is a question mark of, did they get enough practice? What's it going to look like? Well, if Fellow's playing like that, and you can rely on Clayster and Brack to have good performances, it takes one session of practice, and Clay's going to lead this team to somewhere. Already, another Game 5, but coming up, it's Destroy. Ironblood Gaming. I mean, that's it. Yep. That's the final match of tonight, and the final match for the final season of Challengers Elite Season 4. We've had a lot of them these past couple of years, but for the 2022 season, Alan, this is the final one for North America. Then next we got playoffs. Quick thoughts. Last series, the series coming up. What are you feeling? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm honestly, that was crazy. I was not expecting that to go to a Game 5 for whatever it takes, as they know they've just been so strong all across the board. But really curious to see, the playoffs. We got one more match to go through, and I'm excited to see how this one goes down, because we know there's been some kind of craziness happen with over there with Ironblood Gaming, and as well as DTO with a nice couple of wins on their belt last night. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm excited to get into the last game of the day. I know we're kind of getting a little scrambled here, a little burger brain, but you know what? It's been fun. Love spending it with you, Spaceman, of course.
Oh yeah, it's always fun. It's always a good chat. You guys know the drill at this point. You know what we're about to do. We're going to a break. When we come back, final match of the night. I'm gonna keep shaking this camera. Don't go anywhere. This is the last one, baby. Playoffs next week. We'll see you guys in a minute.
rock into the music. You know how to do this. Don't second guess, just not a test. It's not a race, no black and white. Everything's great, no yesterday, never tomorrow. Only the present, that is your gift. It benefits you only if open. Everyone's chosen, beauty of choice. You can stay silent, forget your voice. You can malign them, hold a grudge, or stand before judge. Just stay in your case. Top of the notion that you were just a mere drop in the ocean. This is your moment, fear is a Trojan horse. When you open or close your doors. Just when you feel like it's too much. Just when you feel like you've had enough. Take a step back from the edge. Take a deep breath. Dance like you'll never. Dance like you'll never. Dance like you'll never. Ever gonna live again. Sometimes you don't like where you live. Sometimes you don't really like your kids. Sometimes you grow out of your friends. Sometimes it's your fault, just admit it. Finger point in the mirror. 3-point back, that's the tearjerker. You can wallow in sorrow, depressed of the past, afraid of the unknown tomorrow. Or you can just live in the now. We all trying to figure it out. The rhythm inside of your chest that's keeping you moving, that's the solution. The ball on the floor is hard to ignore. And nothing rush will flush your brains while you dance your pain away. Just when you feel like it's too much. Just when you feel like you've had enough. Take a step back from the edge and take a deep breath. And dance like you'll never. Dance like you'll never. Dance like you'll never.
Smells like another Game 5, Ellen. I'm excited for this one. It's going to be fun. Let's get into it. This is the last match of the night for North America, folks. And this one is interesting because there's a lot of implications. So right off the bat, let me give you 2 things we need to know. First of all, in the standings, from what we understand, if Ironblood win this series flat out against Destroy the Odds, okay? They win this out, I'm being told by production, we're just moving on. Let's just move on, all right? Listen, we're going to get all our statisticians doing all the numbers, making sure we get all the ideas of seedings and who's qualifying for playoffs. We'll break that down later. Ellen, let's just get into the flyovers, the ideas of who these players are. Because, well, we got Destroy the Odds versus Ironblood Gaming. Let's get right into the meat and bones of this. Hollow, Gintroid, Mach, Venom versus Assault, Exceed, Noisy, and Welly. Again, it feels like we're playing another top-tier challengers, if not Pro 8s. I'm excited to get into it. Keys, highlights, players, teams. What are you looking at? Talk to me. What do you got?
Yeah, a bunch of craziness, but we just know that this is like a must-win for both teams. Obviously, Ironblood Gaming, they've been starting off pretty hot this stage. I mean, but had a couple of interesting losses the last today. But I mean, we're looking at Assault on this squad, right? I mean, we know what he brings to the table, and I mean, obviously, he has been a key benefactor of the Ironblood Gaming squad. But the one thing, Spaceman, that I'm a little bit shooken up with this squad that may have affected them is the fact that this past weekend they did take a cup, but they didn't have any practice with Welly or Noisy. They played with Dave Patty and Capsidal, and they did take the dub, which of course is beneficial for those pro points. But I mean, if you're not getting that adequate practice in for this elite stages, then well, it may open up with some trouble, as you see. Well, Destroy the Odds doing just that, making things a little bit hard for Ironblood Gaming to get in. But that is the break that you need, and Assault, the man to do it, the one that we said would lock it down.
Yeah, you know, there's definitely levels to this. There's opportunities for substitutions to go right, to go wrong. If you get success and then cups for pro points, that's fantastic, because we know the push to Boston and to champs is now. We understand that thread. But I also believe that even if you make substitutions just for a cup, these players are talented enough to be able to bounce back just into another week, into another series. But when we look at the roster makeup of Destroy the Odds, the fact that they're 3-3, maybe not as surprising as you would have expected. And again, that is not a slight on the player's talent. It's more of sometimes you put 4 really individually talented players on the roster, and we've seen this for 3 years now in Challengers where it just doesn't work out right. We've had very different rosters have this happen. But I look at Gintroid and Mach, and I look at the fact that Mach was such a consistent AR in Cold War. I look at the fact that Venom was one of the most explosive players on Wester for the longest time as a sub. And you think that just having Hollow with his experience in Modern Warfare in the CDL, with having Mach and having Venom there and Gintroid to round out this roster, like, there's not a bad link in any of these players, but is it just the composition that hasn't been working out for him?
Yeah, no, that's a good way to put it, and a lot of that caters to maybe just not necessarily having enough time together. But regardless, still here, Ironblood Gaming is starting off pretty good. They have about a 60-point to 18 deficit, and well, on the rotations for new, it is DTO that is there, Destroy the Odds. But Noisy opening up through fire here. It's actually maybe the break. He's gonna wait patiently for Ironblood Gaming to at least rotate over through that pier side, and well, the hill is popped. You see members like Seed at least opening up one on that fire side, on that dock side, and that's 2 to fall. So you see Gintroid, though, he's tucked away deep in the spawn. Does get taken out as I say that, and that's a really clean break for Ironblood Gaming. Noisy just really waiting up on that fire, and of course just chaining, at least trying to chain Ironblood Gaming. They have done this before where they can chain P2, P3 together, and well, this is not a bad hold if you are Ironblood Gaming.
Yeah, and everyone got their call on their gunfights to move up and push through. And when we looked back to last week on the mainstream, when we saw Ironblood and we saw Ultra Academy North America, it was a 3-1 win for Ultra, and there was even moments there in the early hardpoints and S&Ds where you're thinking, okay, Ironblood have the ball rolling, but things collapsed quickly. Now, I do want to know, Ellen, when it comes to Assault's place on this roster, we have given him a lot of praise, rightfully so. He's looked phenomenal as of late, and we even saw what he did in Toronto with his huge clutch on Desert Siege. What is it like having the presence of Assault on this team to guide Welly and Noisy? Because we know Exceed's had amateur experience even back in the Black Ops 4 when I think he first popped up around Anaheim. We've seen him through the circuit forever, but this young core following under the ranks of Assault, what does that do for a young team, and to have that IGL presence when those tight moments happen?
Yeah, I mean, you have that leadership on the board, of course. And I mean, Assault, just what he brings to a team. I mean, having the ability to just trust your teammate to lock it in a lane, I mean, it really makes it easier for somebody like Welly, who, of course, even Exceed, who can just push on to the point. And that's exactly the break that Ironblood was just able to display. You have Assault picking up those kills on the long flank, or just pushing, just holding those long sight lanes. And then Welly, I mean, he just had a phenomenal start too. He was on a 6 spree before he fell. So realistically, I mean, you have that AR dominance just off the bat from Assault, and to follow with Welly, it just really makes the perfect combination. And you can really have Noisy just flex between the AR and sub. And I mean, of course, Exceed does. He even mentioned it, that he was one of the best sub players in the game. Of course, we heard on the Toronto Ultra stream, like, he's just one of those guys that just has that experience and continues to just show dominance no matter what gun that he has in hand.
And we've been climbing the ladder in this game so far. It's been steady. 120 to 65. Doesn't seem too big, because all it takes is one hill for Destroy the Odds to basically wipe that deficit away. But credit to Assault for playing in the anchor spot, giving Welly time to breathe, and Exceed, who can do what he needs to towards those middle lanes, especially when the hill starts to get congested like we see now. Exceed finding one before the nade responds on a Noisy, so you see a trade there in the kill feed. But Assault yet to die, finding kill after kill after kill. And now it's up to Jintroid to try to make something out of it, but Exceed cuts him down. And I have been critical of Exceed in the past. I've said he can play high highs, and sometimes he can be a little bit streaky in respawns, but he has stepped it up in the past 2 weeks, especially this stage. He's been playing lights out, and so has Assault, by the way. On a 6 spree, 1 away from the glide bomb. There it is. They're walking into his sight. The world champion, the world's MVP, is just frying right now in game 1.
Yeah, and then, I mean, the heads-up play, too, from Exceed to back down, and then Welly, of course, just locking it in on the other side of the map. Like, Assault is still going, like, he finally was taken down on an 8 streak, but look at Exceed. Now, he's about to get streaks if he could just manage to get one more kill. So, the stun check and the nade does come out from Venom, but Exceed does fall. So, it's still Ironblood Gaming, though, that have control over this point, and still, even though, I mean, you just think, Destroy the Odds, they're doing everything they can, but they're completely getting shut down by the ARs of Ironblood Gaming, something that they do so well, and we've seen them just last night even do it on that the Gavutu Hardpoint versus 3 Kings. Like, Assault, he was just that lead beneficiary factor that really sets up for those plays with that automaton in hand.
Well, Jintroid just trying to stay alive as long as possible. And having a presence inside the hardpoint with that MP40 could help bring this lead back, but it has gotten out of hand very quickly. Hollow at mid-map will meet one with a stun, but here he comes through fire cut, trying to find someone towards dockside. He gets cut down quickly. We go to P2 on our second rotations, our second set of hills. And the first team to cross 200 points is Ironblood Gaming. They are 1 hill away from winning game 1. And we've seen them have these kind of strong, ridiculous performances in the starts of series and the starts of these best of 5s. But all it takes is 1 game for things to go wrong, and we have ourselves a different ball game. However, for right now, staying in the pocket of the action, it has been non-stop kills from Assault, non-stop pressure from Welly, Exceed doing everything he can to pick up the stragglers who rotate into the hill. But for the time being, this has been a quality haul from Destroy. They've been able to push a lot of the numbers towards those outer skirts, and from there, they've used the sup of Jintroid to continue to win the battle at range. He's been hitting his shots. Just can't win the one inside. Welly does fall. Hollow the next one. Assault flies in, and Assault wins 2. He's just on a different spree.
And the thing about this too, if you are Destroy the Odds, like, you can't really commit too much time to this old point pushing through. I mean, Venom does win a few couple of seconds of scrap time, but look at how far they're spawning out. Look at, like, the control that Ironblood Gaming continue to have as the lead just keeps running away from him. And I mean, of course, the streaks to push him back. Assault has them. I think Exceed has them. Like, they could just really use their utility to just stop the bleeding and, I mean, stop anything, any type of push that Destroy the Odds might need to do. It's just the ARs too strong, shutting it down, locking down. I mean, Hollow is 10 and 21. He's that, again, that AR presence is just, it's just too strong from Ironblood.
I mean, I want to say that what is it going to take to come back in this game? I mean, it would have to be obviously cliche. Billion times we've said it. Perfect Hardpoint. Yeah. But also, again, the consistent slang and the constant contest game would have to be there as well. And we're not just talking about, you get your feet in the hardpoint, but being able to meet the nade checks and the stuns up close, getting your subs in to help the ARs watch their lanes, and it takes pressure off everybody else. But at that point, like, the game is just done, by the way. It happens. Sometimes it's just not even close. That one wasn't. 100-point club, 250 to 98 Ironblood with the fastest respawn today we've seen ever
I was gonna say that was
Well
definitely
done.
the fastest one, and I mean credits, of course. I mean all across the board for Ironblood, Welly with that AR, Assault with that AR. I mean they were just getting those opening picks, and I mean of course Exceed just doing what he needs to do to secure time. I mean they just really chained together almost everything, and my goodness, I mean just off the break, Assault just all the way through just playing so consistent, and yeah. It really just was a complete and utter dominance, and those ARs for the Destroy the Odds were just completely getting shut down.
Yeah, it's the takeaway is the shutdown game. Assault was the MVP. I mean, like this spree here
Yeah.
built the lead to what it was, 6, and he just kept going. He got the glide bomb off this as well. Dude is so filthy. It's fun to watch. You can't help but smile, but in the end, I mean, this one wasn't close. We were trying to concoct different ways for this team to get back into it, for Destroy the Odds to slow the bleeding, and it's not that they can't do it, they absolutely can, but sometimes when the Hardpoint gets away from you and these respawns go the way that one just did, you can't do anything except put the controller down and be like, all right, next map. Like it wasn't theirs, it wasn't going to happen. Noisy at 13 and 16 was the slowest performer, but that says nothing because of the performance from Welly and Exceed and Assault. This was like one-sided, can't really break that down, it was just clinical.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, Noisy, I mean, he had a minute 26 seconds of hill time. I mean, you just essentially it definitely makes the job easier when your ARs are slaying, and of course, just across the board, the team as a whole, just running away with every opportunity they had. And what was nice about that P2 spree from Assault, I mean, just being in that position to where he can just trap Destroy the Odds back in that warehouse spot, and then of course his teammates are already early on the rotation. So Iron Blood Gaming just does a fantastic job at, as a collectively as a whole, picking up each other's cuts and just positioning themselves in just ways that are just so beneficial to them. Beneficial to them.
That was only an 8-minute game. That did not feel like 8 minutes. That felt like 4.
Are you timing everyone?
No, I'm looking up and we have this nice feature, shout out Codcaster. It tells you the game time. That's never existed before. It's nice to know that we have this. And I'm just saying, like, it's nice to know the length of games sometimes. I appreciate that this happens this year. It's interesting. 8 minutes of Hardpoint didn't feel like that. It felt like we had 3 hills and that game was over. It's credit to the slaying power of Ironblood. But in this instance, where they sit currently in the standings, this team comes into this matchup 2-4. They've won 2 series. They've lost 4 series. They have not had the best start to season 4. They have not had the best finish, but they could end it on a high note. And what that high note would mean, we will keep you updated with that. But I think that's a testament to the competition in North America, right? Like the fact that you have a team like this, as stacked as this is, and they're 2-4. All the talent that's above them is the pedigrees of the challengers competition in both regions. So it's going to be a fun series going forward. I'd like to see the map layout if we could, because we could then start diving into the S&D coming up next. Game 2. It's going to be a fun one. Berlin following up 3 in a row. That's going to be interesting. Ironblood seem to have everything working for them on Berlin, Ellen.
Yeah, that's essentially where I would be a little bit worried, because I mean, just coming off of that, like you said, this was the fastest hardpoint essentially that we've seen today. By the way, that went way over my head. I didn't even realize the time was at the top there because I get so zoned in on the stats. But let me tell you what, I mean, just across the board, I mean, these guys just from the Clutch Cup when they started, I mean, essentially, or even back in that Minnesota Open, they did get the 9th to 12th. But since then, I just feel like this team, I mean, as a core 4 from that 18 and crack squad, like just moving forward, like they've just been so good, placing first across the board. I mean, and the Cups doing well. They placed, I think, at a land, and they had at least Assault and Noisy were there. But I mean, I feel like Noisy's been one of those players, like as long as he's playing consistent and playing, you know, getting those opening engagements or securing just some of the important gunfights. If Noisy's on his game, like this squad is just collectively as a whole just that much better. But it's just yeah, gonna be interesting to see triple Berlins. If you're Ironblood, you'd think they're feeling pretty comfortable right now.
I like that term. You're probably feeling comfortable, but the COD gods have had a wick sense of humor today, and they have been weird today. All right, I'm tired of it. Are we going to game 5 or are we not? We're going to find out in this. Look, I refuse to believe if we go up 2-0 again. I refuse to believe it's going to be another reverse sweep. I refuse. If you're going to do the reverse sweep, just do it. Just don't get us to game 5 and then not win it. If you're going to do the reverse sweep, you better win it, because if you don't, you're just You're mean. How
You're-
dare you?
Well,
how dare you
I-
do this to us?
You're absolutely mean, but I will say this because I know we were trying to do caster math, quick math earlier.
Yeah.
We just got confirmation that Iron Blood have to win this 3-1 to qualify. 3-2, and they don't qualify.
So if they have to win 3-1 and under. They can
Yes.
win 3-0. They can win 3-1, but if they win 3-2, they do not qualify. Yes, that is what we were told. If you have a problem with it, take it up on Reddit. We don't care. That is what we were told. We are relaying the info. Let's get into it. Search and destroy. Game 2. Here we go. I love you, COD Reddit. You guys are psychos. You're so fun. Let's get into the action, Ellen.
reads.
That's probably one of the longest Reddits of all time. Shout out Revan for building that. COD Reddit's always a place of
Yeah.
just
Fantasy.
mind-blowing funniness. So good. Oh, I'm excited. Let's get into game 2. Quick predictions, Ellen. What are you thinking? Who's winning?
Iron Blood Gaming.
That was so quick. I'm
Just-
so proud of you.
That's it. We're decided. We made the decision. They got third at the Toronto Open. Like, let's go. Noisy.
I love it.
Already pushing through with that bomb site. I mean, he's going kind of getting crazy, but he just like walked through 2 members of Destroy the Odds. But the first blood does go in favor. Exceed is down, and at least Welly evens it up with a 3 versus 3. But there it is, Hollow with a nade onto Assault. Now it is 2 versus 2, and that bomb has a free plant towards the B site. Welly, can he get it? Or excuse me, Noisy, can he get it down? And well, there it is. Welly getting in position back warehouse.
He opened it, but didn't barge through, so Welly has no idea. But he does pick up the kill on Hollow. That's going to make it more difficult with 30 seconds to go. You do have to hit the rotation towards the site. Venom, they're going to hear that. And he'll hear that too. And that. And this. Maybe some of this. Welly's still hunting. Welly has no idea. And Venom has 14 seconds. This is probably not going to happen. I think this is a round going to Iron Blood. It probably will. Noisy. Gonna check. No one around. That's the first round in the books. Iron Blood. Get it done.
Yeah, and credits to Noisy. I mean, like, there was the first blood that went down towards A, but I mean, Noisy just kind of able to make quick work, get into fire, and able to at least isolate 1 member of DTO, and then I think it was Hollow, and then from there just kind of got the call out. All right, there's a remaining there's players at A, like there's no one from DTO at B, and then he got that free plant down. So kind of a quick readjustment, and of course 3 for Welly. He's on the streak right now, so it's a good save. Even though DTO had the first blood, it's Iron Blood with the save, and of course Welly to follow. So now they got that fast wrap over towards B. Gentroid does make it onto the site, but the one to stop this here would be Exceed, who is around the site, but not able to get the kill. The stuns are off, the bomb is planted, and at least there's first blood on onto Gentroid from Exceed.
There were so many nades, just not the ones you want. And Welly gets second blood as well. I mean, Noisy could end this round right here. Hollow does take down Welly. They're on the site, and you got to go, go, go. And he went. And he loses the gunfight. Oh, God. Hollow picks up 2. It's a 1v2. Exceed. Last alive. This looked possible for Iron Blood, but it collapsed very quickly. And he's going to get spotted in a moment. Takes 1. Doesn't have enough time to get both. But he'll go on the hunt. Here he goes. There he is. And, well, he's on 3. So, you know, it could be worse. You lose the round, but you're on a 3 spree.
Yeah.
He'll take it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, the stop play there, of course, was from Hollow. He picked up 3 there in the back. So that really just stopped the Iron Blood Gaming retake there and evening up the odds. And it's a shame, too, because Exceed was hanging out that window, but he didn't necessarily... I don't know if he was stunned. There was like a stun check that came out, or like maybe if he didn't hear Gentroid get onto the bomb site. It's just an unfortunate play, but still able to get 3 kills that round for Exceed. Not too bad. Play for those streaks, hopefully, but
yeah.
In the attacking round, I mean, you see Noisy swinging that bomb towards A yet again, but this time around, no mid-map play that comes in, and now it's Gentroid with the first blood onto Exceed. Wanted to say succeed. He succeeded on the Exceed.
He's gotta succeed, man. Oh, wow. Does he see Gentroid? I mean, I don't know if it was the nade check. No, he does now. Doesn't get the kill. Okay. Mock shuts him down. Bomb down in a very precarious spot. You can fall back if you're Destroy the Odds. There's Welly for 1. It's going to be a tough retake. and a pinch, because not only are you meeting a stun, but you're meeting two who are running at you.
Yeah.
And Destroy the Odds do another nice job on defense to pick apart numbers and hold their position.
Yep. That's really about it. What it is, just pick apart numbers, hold their positions, and I mean, Assault got isolated in the back there, got stunned, and I mean, you see 3 members water side of DTO that just kind of capitalize, push together, get each other's trades, and just for any case, leaving Welly last alive mid map, and of course, swinging it in their favor. 2-1 right now for Destroy the Odds on the attacking side. Last time around, we saw them swing that bomb towards the B site. It was Jintroid that was able to make a sneaky play and get on there. He's on a 3 streak right now, so at least they were able to stop down the bleeding of Exceed, who had 3 in a row. But Jintroid again gets into that B site, and I think he's going to set up for the plant again. Maybe. Stops, get the stun checked out.
It's a great delay timing by Ironblood. Because Jintroid played this right, but he was waiting for that push from Exceed, and now it comes. You'll get the plant down for free, but free is a loose term. 40 seconds to play with. Noisy gets cut again. First blood there for Destroy the Odds. And Exceed can't win the gunfight. That's bad. How do you play this? Oh, and Welly loses it on the opposite side of the mini-map. Oh, that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
There goes 2 more.
Yeah, that really left in a particular position here. There's only 20 seconds left, and I mean, this is still kind of doable. Maybe not getting pinned down there. Destroy the Odds, capitalizing on these attacking rounds, just playing for that B site. It's really credit to Jintroid just getting into position. And I mean, last time around, we saw Exceed kind of playing close towards that window, but he played a little bit further back this time. And I mean, Jintroid started to plant, got off the plant. You know, the stun checks to dates came out, but still able to walk away with it. Credits, of course, to Hollow, 6-2 right now. And Mach, I mean, yeah, picking up that first blood onto Noisy. Just try not to, at this point, if you're Ironblood, don't give away those first bloods, of course, and maybe find a way to make maybe a play, stick to a play. Commit to a site and stick to a play here. See, it's wrapping over towards B. Mach would be the one to stop.
Big first blood. I mean, it doesn't open up the site, but it at least helps a little. A tiny amount. When does Mach check this? Yeah, he does. There it goes. Bomb doesn't get planted. No one there to trade. This actually isn't horrible positioning in this 2v3. Well, now that Hollow's pushing up, it's a little bit less advantageous, because if you get clustered onto the docks, you're kind of screwed. But with Bomb being down in this spot, if Assault sees anything, he's going to give the call to Welly and Exceed, and they're going to make the play. And they just got to get ready and in time. But 34 seconds, like, how do you take this back? Does Assault see him? I think he does. Yeah, he does. Absolutely. I think he saw the gun.
Yep. So essentially, I mean, Assault's worried about his mid, and I don't think he knows that Mach is tucked away here. So not checking the corner. Assault does fall. 17 seconds left to still grab that bomb and get to the plant. That Welly and Exceed have to go fast. Exceed opens up onto Mach, so now that's just really, you know where the last player is alive. You had the call from Assault, and there it is. The fast play, Ironblood Gaming, able to capitalize on that and stop it just for a little bit, but 2-3, definitely better than 1-4.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, that was great defense from Destroy the Odds. Great retake from Ironblood and great play by Assault just to get the idea of where that last member was. And then great defense again. And it's back and forth we go. That was a chess game. That's what we want to say. Back and forth. Trading pawns. Here we go. Round number 6. Glad I can still do math. Hollow, gonna try to nade off spawn. Won't clear anything out over to B.
Well, that bomb site, though, is tucked away inside mail. You could get punished for Noisy as he takes down Mach, and now that bomb is down. Jintroid does pick it up, but at least the information is there where the bomb is. So now Noisy does back away from, at least this time around, he opened it up with the first blood, and well, now this is a peculiar position for Destroy the Odds as they are trapped in mailroom, and realistically, the play maybe, if you see Venom swinging over towards A, get the information that A is clear. Maybe they can swing this bomb over, but with 35 seconds left, maybe Welly gets a little bit of information that Venom is working the outskirts, but yeah, this is a complete isolation.
Ooh.
Maybe Venom, a huge kill, opening up that A site now. And it's going to be about the retake here for Ironblood Gaming. If Destroy the Odds can get this bomb down, only 18 seconds left. And at least there's the bomb planted. Retake for Ironblood.
A shot onto Venom, or a shot from Venom was just disgusting. We see him do it with a sub, but it's nice to see the AR as well. Well, they're going to know now. He's back here. Maybe not, because he doesn't check. The nade certainly tagged him, but... Okay. That's a round for Destroy the Odds. They didn't have numbers. Then they did. And then they win. Okay. Alrighty.
Well, and of course, I mean, huge credits to Venom for like taking the long way around, I mean, through that A site, because I mean, you saw his teammates were essentially isolated inside mailroom. Venom really opened up that side of the map on getting that pick onto Welly, and of course, allowing his teammates to swing it on over, because Ironblood Gaming, they were working the Riverside, and yeah, having those numbers, I mean, Noisy opened it up, but yeah, I guess if you are Ironblood, you can't let that happen. I mean, you had numbers, you had the bomb down. Essentially, you knew where members were, and then, well, shout outs to Hollow for staying alive in the back despite getting double naded there. But Ironblood on the attacking round, swing it over towards B, and I mean, Noisy does get spotted. A couple shots are out, and again, it's Mock tucked away deep, and Jintroid working street side to help. Members of Ironblood are spotted. I mean, there's information that they're over here.
And Venom's tucked away as well at A. So, like, if he moves and crosses paths with Welly and wins that fight, you're looking at a very different situation over at B on how you retake this. It just depends on when Welly's going to give away his spot. I don't think he will at all. And whether or not Mock gets over-aggressive as Noisy finds the first blood with 28 seconds to go into this round. When does Welly make the move? Well, I think he spotted someone now, and it's a team kill that doesn't help. That's not good. Assault makes up for it with one kill on Venom. He's getting pushed. Assault tries to beat him down. Can't do it. 2v2. They're on site. Mock. In a long-range battle with Exceed. Exceed pops out and Exceed guns him.
Well, that could have been really scary if you were Ironblood, but of course, Noisy opening up with that first blood, and successful setup here from Exceed. It's very good. Very good if you're Ironblood, because yeah, I just, if I'm Ironblood, I definitely want to end this. I'm be more so determined to end it. 3-0. Make sure you have that guaranteed spot. But DTO is definitely not making it easy. Hollow having a game, by the way, 9-4 on the attacking side does kind of get that peek in information that there are members over at the A site. You see, Destroy the Odds swinging that bomb towards A. And this time around, members of Ironblood Gaming are going to read this, and Venom opens up onto Noisy with first blood yet again.
I mean, they could pick bomb up and plant it right now. Destroy could just pick it up and plant it. Obviously, they don't know where numbers are. We can say that. We know. But it's like, you're like, you can plant it. You can just do it.
Oh.
Now that helps. That absolutely helps. And they should put this bomb down and force the round. Because what do you do here? I mean, Assault just needs to play patient. If he catches him planting, that's huge. Are they just going to rotate to B?
Yeah. I mean, it kind of looks like, there's 30 seconds left, but I don't know. I feel like maybe they wasted too much time committing so much resources. I mean, you let Assault get a kill on the Hollow, and now, I mean, you have Welly waiting the rotation, so now that leaves Venom last alive with the bomb site. I just don't understand. I feel like they just committed way too many resources to this B site. Like, now Venom, 12 seconds left, Welly gets out of his life, and at this point, it's just, hey, let the clock run. They need to plant, and that is it. DTO gets picked apart on that attacking round, even despite having numbers.
Like, hindsight's 20/20, and I liked the call in the moment because I'm thinking, oh, Assault's gonna die in 2 seconds. So I'm like, yeah, that rotation to B is cool. I like that. And then nothing happens, and you're like, oh god, Assault won the gunfight. So yeah, in that moment, you put the bomb down, you force that round, you probably win it. You probably do. This goes from a 5-3 game to a 4-4 game, and a win in a situation where yet again Assault leads the charge in a clutch. 10-4 for Welly. Destroy have to be not only shaking their heads and smashing it against a wall, but you have to regain quickly because that is a round that can hurt you. And it did, but now you gotta forget about it. You have to have a memory of a goldfish and keep moving.
Absolutely. I mean, even too, like, Mock there again with the first blood, there's the goldfish memory. But yeah, even with Exceed, Hollow, he just took out his seed in the back and just surprised the commitment. But look at this play from Iron Blood. Even now, they're getting the plant despite not necessarily having the resources fully at A, but you have Assault tucked away deep in that warehouse spawn. The bomb is down, so they can just essentially play these longer ranges of sight, which we know they thrive in even from per map 1. 3 versus 4.
Look at all the utility that's getting thrown out. Like, Venom gets rid of a stun, gets rid of a nade, so there's going to be nothing to really throw onto the site or try to flush out an AR of Exceed or Assault. Mock now moving in through the pillars. He's going to get cut quickly, but Venom responds to Exceed. Venom gets 2. He's so huge with the sub every single damn time. Assault's got a peek, wins 1. He escaped. Here comes Venom, and Assault can't win the gunfight. Are they going to stick it? I think they got it in time. I think they did stick it. Hollow is on the defuse. You just need a couple more seconds. Yeah, they got it. There's no problem. Okay, so they get a round back. They gave one. They get one. And now they're up 5-4.
Yeah, and that was just really, I mean, for Iron Blood, they had that plant set up. Obviously, they didn't clear off. I believe it was Venom that was like close to the point, tucked away on the other side of the stairs. But like, realistically, putting that Assault in that position to just work that longer range of sight, he did get 1. But if he got that second kill right there, that definitely would have been a different outcome of that round, I feel like. Because after that post plant setup, I mean, they were in position essentially to just take those longer range gunfights. But Welly right now 11-5, having a great game. Of course, Hollow to fall 10-5. Does have that pre-check, and the nades flying over towards B. And the information is there. I think Jintroid does spot Assault, who manages to get away, but he's going to go on the chase, and he's pushing. Wow. Does get get punished there, and, well, Venom to follow gets taken out by Welly. So now we've been opening it up already. It is a 3 versus 2 for DT, Destroy the Odds.
10-5 for Hollow. He might get perfect timing onto Exceed. But so would Mock. Belly wins it. Huge. Bomb down. Excuse me, Mock with bomb. Hollow down. Got it. We're good. Mock in a 3v1. Here we go. And a 3v9. We got ourselves around 11.
Yeah, and I mean, I see the play there from DTO, like they like Jintroid and Venom working that. Essentially, you want to isolate members of Iron Blood. I mean, force those close range gunfights, and Jintroid did just that. Venom was there to follow, but you had Welly tucked away, who got a huge 2, and right there at the end, of course, winning that gunfight. It's just Welly for a 2 streak, Exceed to follow up with 1, and well, now we have a 5-5, and Iron Blood is on the defensive side. So we know in the past, Destroy the Odds, they worked well working over towards that B site. They're very, very successful. And you see kind of the play, maybe to go over there, but not necessarily committing. See what the play is.
None of them connect. Here comes the push from Jintroid. Carry it again, right in, wins a huge gunfight, and they're going to get bombed down for free.
Yep, and Mock, of course, to follow on to Assault. I mean, that's pretty much what DTO needed to win the game. And, well, Noisy, I mean, you see 3 members of DTO back in that warehouse spot. You really realistically have to clear it out. Welly might be able to get a pick or 2 onto the site, but a close-range gunfight, that is what you needed. DTO in the game! Destroy the Odds.
Wow.
And what, I mean, every single round was just so clinical, and I mean, very, very close.
It looked scary at times. I'm thinking that round's going to come back to bite them where they didn't plan A and they rotated. They clutched up in the final 2 rounds, and here we go. We got ourselves a series tied 1-1. I want to see the replays because that one essentially came down to a lot of those later round pushes with the bomb once they were to get it planted. Post-plant positioning was there for both teams, but what really stood out was constantly Venom finding a kill while rotating off the site, which was big. But the ARs really carried through, and that's thanks to Hollow. 10-6, 7 non-traded kills. You're looking at a first blood for him, but like look at that, like 2 first bloods for Mock, 2 for Jintroid. They constantly had an answer. There was constantly an answer. When everyone's getting first bloods, it just makes the game easier.
Yeah. Oh, of course. And I mean, Destroy the Odds, I feel like they really forced a lot of close range gunfights because, I mean, you saw where Iron Blood, like how well they thrive in those AR battles. And I mean, just a couple of times Detroit, just like you said, they won those key opening first bloods onto the B site. Exceed was the one that usually was taken down there. And I mean, just out of those 3, I mean, you see between Noisy and Exceed, it's 6 first deaths just from them. Despite the fact it just really came down to a couple of key kills. And I just feel like Destroy the Odds, they really capitalized playing that B site, just getting aggressive, getting into positioning. And of course, Hollow, saving her a lot in the back for those long wraps all the way around that Ironblood maybe would try to stop. It was just always Hollow there to deny. And yeah, sad if you're Ironblood gaming fan, but for sure, this is it. They need to win the next 2. They need to win the next 2 now. They got it.
If they lose the control, that's it. They cannot qualify for playoffs next week. So it's even if they win the rest of the series, it's this is it. This is a big game. Like every time we say, oh, it's a big game. This is the big game that the big was hence therefore after aforementioned named of. That's what this is. This is a big game, folks. All right. The control means everything for Ironblood, for Destroy the Odds. I don't know if they know the situation at the moment, but I'm sure they're just thinking we take it one game at a time. If we can win it here and they know the situation, great. Cool. But that's the name of the game, Ellen. They got to win. Until we get to that point, you guys know the deal. We're going to a commercial break. When we come back, we will have Game 3 control ready for you for the final match of the night for North America. We'll see you guys in a minute. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Call of Duty Challengers Elite Season 4. This is the final season of the year. We've said it before. We'll say it again. This is the last one for 2022. What next year has in store, we have yet to see. But all we know now is that it's all about the push to Boston. It's all about the push to Champs. Challengers Champs was just announced. We know that a lot of these players are playing for that. We know that in this instance, we're playing for next week for playoffs. Ellen, why does this control matter? For those people who are just tuning in right now, or they tuned me out because I'm annoying, why does this matter? Tell them.
Well, obviously for these 2 teams, this matters because this is going to punch in their ticket for that playoff spot next week that we have for week 3. And, well, it's really been the name of the game here for DTO. Like, the first game, that Hardpoint, it was a doozy that we thought Ironblood Gaming, they were going to walk away even with the search and destroy, but it was a close game, 5-6. And now as we head into this control, really, I feel like it's going to be about just kind of similar to what we saw in that surge, breaking apart their setups for Destroy the Odds, get those subs into position where they can cut down those ARs of Ironblood Gaming, and they could walk away with a win here. So, off the break, that is a hot 2 and a cap, maybe a tick at B for Ironblood Gaming as, well, that's again what we need from DTO. We need them to slay out and cut off their spawns. You know what, Spaceman, you talk about Burger Brain. I'm getting there too. Oh my God, can we possibly go to a game 5 for this one? I don't know, we'll find out.
I'm gonna cry if we do.
If we do, it's still, that'll be good for Destroy the Odds if we do hit that game 5.
100%.
Because it's 3-1 that Ironblood need to win.
Yeah, we don't know if obviously that they're aware of the situation at this moment, at least what this game means, but you would love to end this series as quickly as possible for the confidence of the team for sure. Game 5, I wouldn't put it past the COD gods today. I really wouldn't. However, the way this one started out, been relatively even. It's tug of war so far. Working on A, Exceed on your screen, helping to lock up that second bit of progression. 0-2, yet to find a kill early on in round number 1 here as nades fly out and it's absolute pandemonium inside the point. They are going to get A, maybe not. Okay, they're not going to get A. I take back everything I said. We're going to work on decapping that third bit of aggression. We're going to split our resources over towards B. And with that, player 1 is Noisy. All he has to do is worry about finding Hollow. If done so, they should have B as well.
Yeah, and Venom is the one that obviously saved that play at the old hair end.
Oh my
well,
God.
at least if you get 2 ticks at A, you really just need to commit resources to B, which is obviously the easier site to capture. And, well, that is Ironblood Gaming that is able to zone forward. You see Noisy doing just that, and Mock trying to stop the bleeding here, pushing out that train side. And, well, there's only essentially 1 tick that's needed for Ironblood Gaming to capture here at A. And, well, Mock would be the one to put the stop to this. As particular setup here is to push forward. Maybe trap Destroy the Odds there, back warehouse, but it's really about getting that mid-map control that's going to be really important.
All of a sudden, the kills have started going the way of Ironblood Gaming. Exceed hasn't had too many big engagements, but he's found those kills in necessary times, where Mock now sits atop one of the cabinets and will pay for such positioning, and Noisy escaped with his life for the moment. Door closed. Goodbye. Here it comes. And we push our way through.
Hello.
13 to 10. It's always fun watching the doors just get slammed closed so quickly. I don't know why. It's aesthetically pleasing. Yeah, I appreciate that. It's the small details. 11-9. Minutes ago. Right down the steps. Deleted. Next up will be Hollow. But in this spot, I think if you're Ironblood, you're looking for 1 wipe and you get into the point. GG's round 1.
Yeah, and the good news about this is that Ironblood they have the live advantage. So realistically, I mean, even for the time, you could just play TDM here. There's only 5 lives remaining. So the push comes in through and now make it 4. Exceed. He's going to do just that, pushing through fire and, well, catching these members of Destroy the Odds off guard. And you see doing just that. He gets a couple shots into Mock, and oh my goodness, almost turned on Venom. It's only 3 members of Destroy the Odds that they have to push through. In Slay.
Only 3. Oh, they're doing it. 7-2. Venom through the back. Can't find anything. Hollow, the last one alive in this round. Defeat kills. You let him get the cap. Both? I'll take both. Why not both? Ironblood, get round 1, and that's a big round. Like, get yourself on the board. You're not going down a round. You can work from this. Destroy the Odds made it close all the way to the end. But it was the kills in that middle section of this round. The constant 2 dead at a time, 2 dead on the transition, on the rotation. It was nicely done by Ironblood.
Yeah, of course, and just committing the resources essentially to capturing what would be more difficult point towards A. They worked train station. I mean, off the break, they had 2 ticks at A, able to isolate members of Destroy the Odds back into that fire area. So, yeah, great start for Ironblood, and I mean, kind of looking to counter that. You see Destroy the Odds working towards the A site, but they're getting cut down. Ironblood stack the A point, get at least 2, but Mock, maybe with the save, cuts down 2 himself. But as this is happening, you see, it is Venom who pushes through to fire and is at least able to get through and maybe set up for a B cap, commit your resources over there.
Big wins by Venom. It's these small gunfights that do go a long way, just again securing more positioning at mid-map. It allow you the real estate to move to A relatively freely because you have Assault overextending through the back. He's trying to make sure anyone off spawn is quickly met by an AR, and he might get lucky in that regard, but it does leave way for Jintroid to do what he's doing now, which is to take these one-on-one gunfights where he has the positioning, he has the close left angle to his advantage. He can use these objects to make gunfights a little bit more dicey. However, Exceed does punish him regardless. I think the damage is done in that regard because they get more progress at B, working on the 3rd tick. It's a 2-stack for the moment. One on the outside will be Assault. The other working in tandem is Welly. Welly now moving his way in, ready for 1. The slide was dangerous, but not enough to find the kill. And Noisy drops, but they will stop the spree on B for the moment.
Oh my gosh, and that was such a crazy play from Exceed because he essentially was in fire, rotates over, he gets that kill and the stop and the save towards the A site, and then now look where he is. He's tucked away deep in their spawn to where, again, Assault on that riverside maybe can, again, set up for a spawn trap, but, I mean, destroy the odds. At least they commit their resources towards B to secure that extra time, and, I mean, now with a minute 30 left on the clock, the lives are tied right now. Well, I say that, Exceed takes on 17 to 16, and, well, the good news is you have Venom set up in fire, and at least he's got to wait for his teammates to push him through the front. It's going to decide, well, you know what? Let's just... Maybe if we can catch a couple of players from Ironblood Gaming off guard, but the kills, they need to come in through the front, essentially. You can't commit too much time here because that clock is dwindling.
Yeah, it's pick your poison. You either go from the back, which just means that Ironblood, if lucky, if they clear out their own side, they're going to maintain spawns, or you bully your way in through the front like a bull in a china shop, and I don't think that's going to happen. So it's up to Exceed to stop this push. He is good for 1, and that just means he can burn time from here, does so effectively, earns a glide bomb. That's worst case scenario. Now on the hunt, Venom, the only one around the point, and he dies quickly. This went from not great but doable to very bad because you give a streak. You got really nowhere to go. You got 32 seconds on the attack, but I don't think it's enough. I mean, it's enough time, but in the relative sense, I don't think it's enough time. Like, they just haven't been finding the kills. They have not had the setup, but here comes 2 kills. Shut up, Spaceman. Here could be a 3rd. If they find this, everything gets a little bit more interesting.
Yep, that's for sure. And there it is. Well, but not if Noisy has anything to say about it. It's really Hollow that just turned up there. Now he's on a 4 streak. So stopping the clock at 18 seconds, you're going to see all the utilities, all the nades come through. And, well, as Mock is the last one alive here, you see Noisy tries to go through that long flank around. Huge one-on-one from Venom to win that. And, well, now it's 6 to 6 live in favor. The clock is stopped. 15 seconds remain.
And they find the kills. Hollow in. Hollow got no one. Barely gets an assist. Mock trying, but Welly down the steps, way too good. Great positioning from Ironblood. And they will take the second round. On defense, they get it done on the attacking side. They get it done on the defensive side. Now, they are 1 round away from keeping their playoff hopes alive and sending it to a very decisive hardpoint.
Yeah, and that was like, you just wonder too, if you're Venom, he was sitting in fire for the longest time. It just really credits to Exceed there because he essentially was making so much damage that Venom just waited so long. I think by the time that Mock got there, they were able to clean up a couple of kills, but it wasn't enough. Still, Ironblood Gaming, just the post-defensive setup was just so smart. And, I mean, last time around, we saw them quickly attack towards that A site, but now they're committing resources towards B. They're just like, you know what? We want to end it here. We want a quick 3-0. Let's just go into B. And, I mean, it's just been free and quiet for the most part. Finally, members of DTO that just get there, and it's Venom to cut down 2 for the save. But if you take a look at that, it's Assault over at A that's simultaneously kind of capturing. And, well, Mock trying to do exactly what Exceed was doing. Hopefully, maybe for DTO, they can set up a mess and maybe have a similar trap that Ironblood had the last round, but they need to win the gunfights.
And Assault's on a 5. He dies, but you still have a glide bomb to work with and Exceed. And that's the thing, is that if they do get A, if they stack 2 and B and they have enough to get the pressure of Destroy the Odds to slant itself towards the docks, you use that glide bomb and you might get an extra tick out of that. So you have resources in the back pocket to use. It could pay dividends. It probably will. They are splitting their attempts now. They are working on that bit of progression at B. They have 2 ticks on both sites, and they have a minute to play with. Like, this is excellent. This is so good. It's so clinical. Luckily, it does get stopped for Destroy's sake, but okay, you lose a little bit at B. Now we go back to A.
Yeah.
It's just this constant annoyance. Like, if you're Destroy, other than slaying your way out of the situation, it's got to be so frustrating to constantly have to fight back and forth between each site.
Yeah, for sure. But at least, and on this on the B site, they're able to capitalize on that. And now there's 2 minutes left, essentially, to get 1 tick. I mean, this is very, very doable if you are Destroy the Odds to hold here. I mean, you have the live advantage in your favor, but you got to be able to cut down the ARs of, like, Assault, of Welly, who have just been winning these key gunfights. And Mock has been a person who's doing just that. So, I mean, tucked away here on this top tower, he does get taken down by Exceed, who, well, essentially, They have plenty of time to work with here, Spaceman. I mean, I think Exceed, if he can maybe send him over through fire again, they can definitely set up for a play. And I mean, Exceed, he does take down Venom on that male side, and Hollow still pushed up this train side, is doing everything he can to stop every single push from Ironblood Gaming. Gets taken down by Welly, and there's the map control that we need for them to slowly start inching their way towards the A site through the front.
This is the push here. You get like a minute 30, you might get 2.5 pushes if you're lucky. This is the push here. 30 seconds has gone by. You got 60 to work with on the clock. You've gotten the life lead back in your favor, and you've gotten a flurry of kills. Not 3, not 4. Like, you've gotten like 6 or 7 in a row. Venom does shut down 2, but is it enough to get into the point? Welly trying to work out towards the steps, working his way around the columns. Gets 1, gets 2. Still alive, running through fire cut. And he's becoming a problem they're going to have to deal with. But look at where purple is in the minimap. Like, look at the number for Destroy the Odds. They're still around A. Like, all of that happens, and that's great movement up the map. But you burn the streak, you get nothing. And with all of that happening, Ellen, they had 7, 8 kills in a row, and they're not even closer to being onto the point.
Well, the good news is for that, though, there's only 3 lives left for Destroy the Odds.
That's
so,
a good point.
I mean, you know, Welly did go on a nice spree there, but at least there's only 28 seconds left. They do have to essentially get these flurry of kills here or capture the point, but Jinchoi's not going to make it easy. He takes down Exceed, and now there's only 20 seconds left. Welly, he's going to wait. Assault does take down Mock, so now it's basically a 2 versus 2 at the hardpoint. You're basically playing Search and Destroy at this point, and with 5 lives remaining, that is a huge 2 from Jinchoi and Hollow now to stop the bleeding, and it's 15 seconds left. I mean, if you are Exceed, you have to get to that point, but they have to go. They have to go now.
Yeah, it's a 4v2. You just got to go. I know you're trying to wait for numbers. No. You got to go. You got 5 seconds. They're going to get in. There's a big one from Hollow. It does stop. How much time? There's another one from Jintroid. Exceed right over in a 1v2. 1v nothing. Iron Blood take game number 3 in climactic fashion. 3-0 in a dangerous round number 3. Should we say so ourselves?
That was very, very dangerous.
That's why I was a little worried, because I understood that it was 8-3, but we had spent a minute 45 setting up that push, and after that, no one got any bit of progression. There was no advancement. They got pushed back. So yes, it's 8-3, but I'm like, guys, are we going to make a play under the point? Are we going to do something here?
I know.
Okay.
I mean, I think Welly went like on a 5 streak right there. Like, I mean, and even with the pistol, like he was just knocking them all down. And oh my goodness, that was so intense. But from the driving seat from the start, it was Ironblood Gaming just really capitalizing on those offensive pushes. I mean, they won 2 offensive rounds, and off the break, I mean, from the first offensive round, they played A right away. They capitalized numbers there and those pushes. I mean, it was just really hard for Destroy the Odds to essentially slay out, because I mean, it just was the ARs, I feel like, of Ironblood Gaming from, you know, just from the get-go this whole series. They are just so strong that, I mean, I don't know, it just almost felt a little bit too late there that Hollow like really started to pick up, because I mean, yeah, it was so close. It came down to that one round, but it was just Ironblood just in the driving seat. I mean, Welly, there was that crazy piece right there, even just where he started off with that spree there into fire. But
this essentially turns into a best of 1 now.
Yep.
Like, you win
one
this.
And done.
1 and done. GG's. You win this, you win the series, and you get yourself into playoffs. If you lose this, you go to a game 5, and we're speaking from the perspective of Ironblood. You go to a game 5, and you don't make it the playoffs. So, like, yeah, you get 1 game, 1 hard point to get it done. Well, if there's 1 game mode I think they want right now, it would probably be the hard point. The way they played in that opening one, it was not close at all. However, with how today's gone, who the hell knows what's going to happen next? It is Gavutu coming up. We had Berlin for 3 straight maps. Ironblood took the opening hard point. They took the control. They lose the S&D. Ellen, my God, it's going to happen.
I think that Ironblood is going to end it here. Going off of the Gavutu hardpoint last night, I mean, we saw them play against 3 Kings Gaming, and they took it 250 to 224. But I mean, really credits to Assault, who just turned up, and he started off so hot, getting 7 kills, getting in the hill, even picking up a sub at one point and locking everything down. So if Assault brings that same fire, even just going into this with the heat, just starting off strong, again, it's just been Ironblood Gaming. Their ARs have been just completely dominant. And I mean, DTO, they did win the S&D, but it was just by a barrel, like barely by a margin. I mean, literally 1 round. And just in the respawns, just Ironblood is just so dominant. I mean, through the series, 250 to 98, the first hard point, and again, just across the board, the stage, they've just been so good at Gavutu as a whole, because Ironblood is so good at just picking up every single lane. And again, it's that constant ebb and flow that they display almost on every single hard point that you see them play. especially
Yeah,
on Gavutu.
It has been nuts for sure, and I am genuinely wondering, I feel like if you're Destroy the Odds, it's not like you're playing with house money, but it can only go up from here, from what you had in the opening hardpoint. Like, you can only play better, and I think that will be the case because Gavutu often favors ARs. Not that Berlin doesn't, but like, if you have a good map as an AR in Gavutu, you're probably gonna have a good time. So, with that said, are you locking in Ironblood? Do you think they're gonna finish this thing?
I think so. I'm just gonna make an indefinite answer, but I mean, although, like I said, this is either gonna be a complete upset or complete happiness for the Destroy the Odds. Because
Sure.
I mean, I either which way, I think this is just so much on the line for Ironblood. They have the ice. They put that together even in the Toronto land. Like, they've just dominated. Gavutu has just been one of those key maps for them. So, I mean, if Destroy the Odds can find a way to not let them essentially pick up like the driving seat early, like if they don't allow Ironblood Gaming to just get the P1 and P2, I mean, that's going to be really the key factor for me. It's just how this hardpoint starts, because again, I don't know. Ironblood is just so good, especially at this map of Gavutu. Like, even in the control, just as a whole, I just feel like this is one of the maps that they're going to feel more comfortable on.
Well, there's really only way to figure out how this one's going to go. I think we just got to get into the actual map. I think that's fair. Let's get into it. This one's for all the marbles, folks. If you're an Ironblood Gaming fan, if you're a fan of any of these players, you are hoping this one ends quickly. It does not go 5, because if they win this map, they qualify for playoffs next week. However, if they lose this, well, they don't qualify, and then we go to a game 5. But now, I believe we have to reset the lobby real quick. In situations like this, I think that is where I come back and I hit on the fact that Assault exists and he's on this team, because he's going to be able to get everybody on the same page and be like, hey guys, we have to win this, and here's the game plan, and here's how we're going to do it. I think they have enough slaying power to get this done. Just from pure Assault and Exceed, I think they're going to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just because, again, I'm sure Ironblood, they know what I mean, just from the start of the day, they know what has been at stake. And I mean, obviously coming off of L, like the last game, it's just, it's like, your backs are against the wall, all types of magic craziness happens. And, well, being that leading factor, of course, Salt, yeah, I mean, we've saw, I think back, I mean, I still think back into that. I'm telling you, I mentioned it before, the Cloud9 sitter, he's the Optic Slayer, okay? We don't talk about that game, but I mean, we know what Assault brings to the table when his back is against the wall, Absolutely. So wait, does that mean, did you vote? Did you say who's going to win this? Are we going to game 5?
Yeah, I'm taking Iron. I mean, I think it's going game 5 regardless of what I pick, but I'm taking Ironblood. Like, they could win and it's still go game 5 somehow. I'm taking Ironblood for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I
mean, that would be pretty crazy, but hey.
Yeah, never
Whole day
before,
of game 5, so yeah, absolutely. But we'll see. Ended in 3 right here, and we'll see what happens. But oh my goodness, this has been pretty much a crazy standard series to start. I mean, just from the hard points, the respawns, the search and destroy was close, but yeah, again, Ironblood in the driving seat the whole entire time. I'm going to be interesting to see how these subs are going to be able to pick apart these setups, but I'm really going to be looking at Jinshroid, because he seemed to be that leading factor just to even set up some of those plays. And of course, Hollow and Mach, I mean, their AR dominance has picked up a little bit there at the end, but gotta be consistent, of course.
You're going to get what you're going to get out of Mach and Hollow. Like, I'm always confident with them. And it's not that I'm not confident with Venom or Jintroid. Like, Venom is going to have a fine Gavutu. He's going to do what he's going to do as the sub. He's always going to do that. And you might be seeing a 3-hour setup, which is not uncommon at all. And if that's the case, we saw him do it on Berlin, what he's able to do with Automaton. However, I think you're going to have a big game from Hollow as an AR. On the other side, this is Exceed. His time. Like, we know what Assault's going to give us. Exceed, if he has a good game, GG's, because Welly and Noisy are going to handle their own. They're going to pull their weight. I expect 3 ARs from both teams for a lot of these hills, like we've seen all year. I just want to get into it. I'm excited. It's surprising that this is how this entire year has come down to, right? Like, teams are always battling for qualifications. They're always battling for the final playoff bracket and for seeding. But this is an entire year of Vanguard. Outside of one event for Boston, this is an entire year, and champs. This is an entire year of Vanguard. This is it.
This is it. I know. This is it. I mean, it's crazy to think how, like, I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but it felt like it went by really fast. Like every single stage, even with the mid-season break that we kind of all had, even like following with the CDL, and then we had the Resurgence event, you know, it just seemed like it's just really flown by, and here we are. Champs is almost here. And of course, the pressure on from just this match alone, what's at stake for Ironblood Gaming as well, being up 2-1. They gotta win one more game, so we'll see if we we'll see if they can pull it off.
One more game. We're gonna go to a break. When we come back, we'll have the lobby, the players, all the games. We can't wait to see you. We'll see you guys in a sec. Thank you for your patience. Welcome back in. We are hoping to have everything situated, formulated. 2 words mean the same thing. Welcome in. I'm Spaceman. That's Ellen, and we are into our final match of the night. It's been a long, cool day of matches. We've had a couple of big clutches, a couple of interesting matches. We've all gone game 5s, which has been really fun. I don't think this one's going to game 5. I think we're breaking the curse, but this is much more important because, again, we're going to keep reminding people. Ellen, why is this one important?
Well, obviously, qualifying rounds. Qualifying rounds for playoffs. But yeah, Iron Blood, of course, they've been in the driving seat, but not to count out Destroy the Odds. They can obviously, a lot of their games, I feel like their losses have been like 2 to 3. They can definitely bring this to a game 5, but we know what this means for Iron Blood and how strong they usually have. They're notorious for their strong starts on this P1 hill for Gavutu, and well, off the break, you already see that just happening for Iron Blood. Complete control, Noisy for 1, and well, Welly for 2. This is the setup you need if you're Iron Blood. Take the lead with this. That's something that they do, Spaceman, so well. Is chaining hills together.
Yeah.
So the odds have to be able to cut it down, and of course, by way of the ARs.
Turn off like that and you're Exceed. I think it's going to be a pretty fun start. So far, though, it's been essentially as contested as you like. We give about 20, get about 20. Now we go to the boat for P2. Already underneath, you got 4 members of Iron Blood ready and waiting for the next hill to pop. It's going to be up to Jintroy to try to break things open for the moment for Destroy the Odds as they work their way into the point. And so far, so good for 1. You help slow the push and the bleeding up top with Venom combining for 2. Maybe the 3rd on a 4 spree of his own with Automaton and the MP40 in his hands. And this is the response you want from Destroy. Don't let the lead build too much. Keep Iron Blood on the back foot and force them to make changes down the lane.
Yeah, and of course, Venom is on a spree right now. He has 6 in a row, and that wide flank around towards that cliff side, and of course, picking up key kills. You have basically Iron Blood Gaming where you want them, but that was important kill from Welly to stop the streaks there, and Assault to follow with another 2. So now there's no one on the time for Destroy the Odds, despite the lead. The scrap time could be in favor of Iron Blood Gaming, and I mean, if you look at the setup, you got Noisy on the other side holding P1, watching those rotational kills, but this is good if you're Iron Blood Gaming. So although Destroy did manage to get majority of the time here, they're still at least set up for the new and P3. And as we know, holding the P3 and in rotation into P4, these are the 2 hills together that you can chain.
The beachfront's going to be tough, and you are going to have to rely on those ARs to do as much of their job as possible. For the majority of today, it has been a collective effort, but now it's up to Assault and Exceed to do the heavy lifting as Exceed works his way through back green, trying to hold on to spots as Welly underneath for the Guardian Angel, but he will drop, and you have one player that's Hollow over on the beachfront, contesting in the front on Assault. Jintroid working through the back, but he needs support. He needs help. As Jintroid will get in for the contest, wins 1 gunfight, but 3 more fall on the outskirts. All of his teammates dropping quickly. They'll meet each other off spawn. There's a nade, there's the wipe, and there's the clear. So nicely done to counteract a lot of that early aggression in Iron Blood. Withstand that first bit of pressure in that wave from Destroy the Odds. They get the lead right back.
Yeah, and I mean, Iron Blood, that's what they do so well. I mean, you even see Exceed with that AR in hand, like just getting into key positions to just basically force these long-range gunfights, and that's what Iron Blood does so well. So the lead change in their favor now, 72 to 45. You already have Assault on the rotation, and now the flip has been scripted again, or the script, it's all been flipped. Somewhere along the way. Yeah, it's Destroy the Odds with their back foot pedaling now towards this site here, but I mean, what is the play here if you Destroy the Odds? Like, of course, you have to stop Exceed, who's on a 5 streak, but they just have to find a way to cut down these ARs.
Yeah, nades and stuns. That's it. Like, especially in the spot with the spawn for Iron Blood. Hit him with nades and stuns, get a break, and then win the next wipe. And then at that point, Iron Blood are forced to rotate. This is what they're doing now. They get their way in. Now they're winning the first wave. Hit him with a couple of stuns, couple of nades. Like, it's as simple as that, and they're doing it, and that's how you respond in P4. Now, you have to worry about, of course, the transition, getting to gun, getting an AR up there as well, maybe somebody sitting in the top of the boat, sure. But in this spot, they played it perfectly. They knew what they had to do in front. Iron Blood couldn't respond. They're getting picked apart now. And this has just all been one excellent effort after another. As Destroy the Odds keep it within around 20. Never mind, it's probably like 30. Regardless, though, we'll see the foot race over towards the new hill. First ones inside will be Destroy the Odds, and back green, it's Mach.
Yeah, and Mach was one of the ones that was early that hit that rotation, but Mach does fall, so now that was a full wipe real quick for Iron Blood Gaming, as Noisy essentially is recognizing that the back green spawn is there for Destroy the Odds, and, well, there's the nades. that do ensue in, and Noisy does get taken down, and the stuns, of course, to follow on Welly, who's on a 3 streak. But still, time is being awarded, well, not was being awarded over to Ironblood, but that is the pickup that you need. Venom with that automaton in hand, getting set up P1, thinking about that rotation, and, well, that's a huge one for Noisy to take him down.
It's been back and forth. Assault. Denying the mid push. For Venom underneath the boat, again, you're thinking about gun control, you're thinking about P2. His job now is to be a nuisance and to pick up straggling players as they work their way towards the gun, like Assault. Great read. And that helps, because now you can collapse and push together as a team. And there's the teamwork. They get the break, they get the first 15 seconds, and then they can start working to P2.
Yep. And that's exactly the time that they need to swing the lead in their favor. So now, only 30 seconds left. Noisy is going to push in for the contest here, but that was a huge win from Mock to secure that scrap time. So now this kind of leaves Ironblood a little bit scrambly, and you see Exceed still pushing those stairs there, the sub in hand. Venom does take him down. So I would think if your Ironblood gets set up on the boat, you see the rotation starting to come through. That was essentially one from Destroy the Odds. And now, with Ironblood Gaming set up, you got Noisy, who's kind of pushed forward towards that oil. Does get taken down by Venom as I say that. But still, it's Assault that's on the point. He's got to think about positioning here as well. He has Exceed right above him to overlook, and well, he does fall. Huge win, though, for Destroy the Odds. It's, they break on through this point. And now Ironblood spawning, getting that cliff spawn. They have to figure out a way to push through and also flip spawn for the next rotation.
And they've gone from the tower, they went over to docks, they controlled back green, they won the fight at gun, and they're doing it at the boat. I mean, that's 4 hills in a row where they've had a significant presence, and a majority of their time has come from these last 4 hills. And they have built it steadily. Continuing on. 18 and 15, you know what you're going to get from Venom. You always know he's going to show up and produce with this sub, maybe 3. Switching to a different weapon, but luckily Hollow is there for the trade. This has been a very consistent run through these last couple of hills. For Ironblood, relatively quiet. Assault, 12 and 16. Welly pulling his weight. Exceed doing the same. They need a little bit more of Assault. They have a chance here. I mean, this is a big hill. This could put the game away. You can't win it here, but it'd be really close. It's like a 3-4 point game. You have to contest. You have to get 60. Well, you can't get 60. You have to get like 40 seconds on this hill to pull this game back within reach, because it is now 205 to 124. Ellen, this game is for playoffs next week. If Ironblood don't win this, even if it goes to 5, they are not making it to the playoffs next week.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just pretty crazy, too, to even think about. But regardless, that was a huge stop there from Noisy, working along the long flank in the back to kind of cut down numbers. But at least you make it a little bit scrappy to at least give yourself a little bit more time to get set up and, well, not let that lead get too far scrambled away from you. But yeah, over a 100-point deficit. I mean, you got Ironblood. They have to play perfect hardpoint basically from here on out. And, you know, just in too, on the, if you want a quick little update, the Electrify Steel, whatever it takes game right now, Electrify Steel is up 2-1 in the control on whatever it takes. And they did take map 1, by the way. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Anyway, tied 1-1.
There you go.
Pretty crazy to think about if whatever it takes loses that. I don't know if that messes up numbers with Electrify Steel with their record, but hey, you never know. Either which way,
yeah.
This game here, yeah, it's still Ironblood Gaming continuing to hold on at least to this P4 site. And if you're to Destroy the Odds, you don't want to maybe commit too much, but you see the nades utilizing kind of popped over. Mock did take down Welly, but it's Exceed. Saves the day with 3 now on the cliff side. They got to hurry up, though, and rotate.
Well, whatever it takes did take down Toronto Ultra NA, which is the second team. So even if whatever it takes end up losing that series, I don't know in terms of the head-to-head if it would change anything. Regardless, those teams are going to be 1 and 2. Or it doesn't even matter. They're going to make it, and they basically already did. They're going to be the top 2 seed. But what does matter is the fact that you are less than 30 seconds away for Destroy the Odds, knocking out the chances for Ironblood Gaming making it to the playoff bracket of Stage 4, which is nuts to think about going into the series. We knew it was a tall task. They had to win 3-0, 3-1, and that was the benchmark, but they have 10 seconds. They got to get in. If you're going to win this hard point, you need to get in. You need to do it now.
Yeah,
the closest member has exceeded. And he's dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say he would be the one to stop it. So, but I mean, at least he was able to Assault was able to pick up a couple, and now that's 2 down. But still, yeah, you have Mock who's on the point. Noisy just follow with the nade, and now there's only 3 seconds left for Destroy the Odds to win it, and that is it. Venom on the point. What is happening, Spaceman? We're going to another game 5, but that may be the stop that is needed. That is it. I don't think Ironblood makes it. If that's indefinite, that is
what we've been told. They do not.
But I mean, like, this series, it's just, again, with how it started, that Berlin, I mean, 250 to 93.68. I don't even know. Oh my God. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. I'm completely mind blown.
I told you. I said, no matter what we pick, it's going 5. It's happening.
We jinxed it.
Here we are, folks. It's going 5. We've gone to game 5 every single series today. Granted, the chaos of Call of Duty never fails to disappoint, but I'm just saying, oh, wait, is that the right way to say that? I don't think that was the right way to say that. The greatness of Call of Duty never fails to amaze. That's the right way to say it. It's been a long day. Shut up, chat.
Something like that.
Listen, this is nuts because Ironblood don't, as far as we have been told, they do not make it to the playoffs. For a team that had this many high expectations, which I put a lot on them in the preseason, the fact that they're not making the playoffs is surprising. The fact that it happened in the fashion in which it did is surprising. The fact that they win the control and they don't win the hard point after it was a 250 to 98 game in game 1 on Berlin.
I mean, I feel like a big factor there was, I mean, we kind of said it. One of the keys to victory for Destroy the Odds was they need to have that ability to cut down the ARs. And although Welly, I mean, he was doing fairly good for the most part. It was, like you said, it was Assault. You pointed out Assault kind of had a slower game that time around. And I mean, compared to last night against that Three Kings Gaming, I mean, Assault was a lead factor as to why they won that Gavutu hard point. So just the ability to cut him down and I mean, Destroy the Odds, just running away with that. They were able to chain and really just take it right there. Credits to Venom too for just starting off that opening break and just really just locking in those spawns into P2 and of course setting the tone right in the beginning.
I'm mind blown, dude. I can't believe this is happening. Let's get ready for game 5. When we come back from this break, we will have the final confirmed match of the night. Game 5 coming up on your screens between Ironblood and Destroy the Odds. You guys don't want to miss it. We'll see you guys in a second. Spoiler alert, we've ended the break early because we're ready for Game 5. Let's get into it. The players have been here for a long time. We have as well. I love that we're jumping right into the action. This is Game 5. Ironblood Gaming, destroy the odds. It's been a back-and-forth series, but I think what it boils down to is this. Ironblood Gaming had to win it 3-0, 3-1 to qualify for Stage 4 playoffs. They do not. So this is basically a match of just spoiled victors and happy destroy the odds players because they have ruined the night of Ironblood.
Yes, they certainly did. I mean, and how about that? I mean, by way of search and destroy too, because you really think about that Berlin, and man, if you're Ironblood, this is definitely got to be heartbreaking. But regardless, opening up with the first blood, it's Mock, and well, Willie is the last alive now in a 1 versus 2. The bomb is down, so well, realistically, if he can manage to maybe isolate a pick here, but you don't really have too much time, so he's got to work fast. Doesn't spot anybody at B. And I mean, you see members of Destroy the Odds. They are grouping up over towards that A site. No, the bomb is down, I believe.
It's a great rotation. This is so good. There's not a lot of time, but
yeah,
I appreciate the pace in which it is developed. With that said, Destroy the Odds get round 1. And, you know, it can't be stated... or it can't be understated how difficult it must be for a lot of players in this situation to kind of like focus in on the game at hand because again, I'm sure if they don't know about the situation, I'm sure either their coach or the players on the team, one of the team, like Assault probably knows, and it's got to be really tough to just focus in on the Game 5 and, you know, stay in the action, but they're still pulling up a hell of a fight, and Destroy the Odds have had a great end to this season, even if it doesn't mean we see them next week. Like, this is a big upset, and it's a big turnaround for these players.
Yeah, regardless of the case, I mean, maybe at that point you just win for the sake of just, hey, winning, you know, you won your series. Maybe there might be a different outcome, but I mean, yeah, as far as it stands, of course. But at least opening up with the first blood, it was Assault onto Gingeroid, so this kind of stops the bomb back train area, and it's just really Mock waiting for a pick. Shots rain on in, but still kind of quiet. Belly shots onto Hollow now, does take down 1, so for Ironblood, this is looking pretty good. Make it 2. Oh, the shots. Welly. 2 down now on that bomb with Mock. I mean, he has the bomb, but really strength in numbers. I mean, I don't know. At this point, maybe you could still try to make the play, but
strength in numbers, absolutely.
Yeah.
Everyone's alive versus one guy. Yeah, there's
Might as well.
100% strength in numbers. I love it. Well, I mean, you can make a play out of it. You can make the most out of it.
Listen, my brain's burgered.
Oh, me too. Who's that? Is that Exceed out on the wing? I mean, I was thinking, I don't know if Exceed saw anything, but you get a round out of it. They tie it up 1-1. 1 round at a time. Closest player in the vicinity, not on the same stretch, but in the vicinity is Assault towards Streaks. Of course, the Glide Bomb comes into the conversation around kills 3 and 4. If that happens, it could open up this game. But so far, pretty routine from both sides. Like, nothing that stood out drastically. We haven't seen a snipe. We haven't seen a ridiculously stagnated or delayed push to B and or A. It's been pretty routine. Yeah,
pretty much for the most part. Kind of just a little bit of passive play coming along, but really just, of course, from that first round on the attacking side, it was Mock that opened up with that first blood and able to get the bomb down. And, yep, Destroy the Odds, just capitalizing on every play. And, of course, defensive setup here. You got 2 at A, 2 at B, but, you know, another person to follow. You have Hollow, who's helping Gintroid over at B, and then you have Mock, who's helping Venom over at A. And, well, there's Venom opening up onto Noisy. And now look at that bomb. Look how far back Ironblood Gaming is just tucked away in their spawn, and that's 2 for Venom. And Assault has that bomb, but might make the decision, you know what, let's just wrap right all the way around and maybe see if we can wait for Venom to push. But Venom is going to stay. I mean, you got numbers. You don't need to push. You don't need to be overly aggressive. And, well, now Assault's left alive in a 1 versus 4.
We've seen him do things like this before. Maybe not now.
Not on
Vanguard.
Vanguard.
Before. I just wanted to jog your memory. We've seen it before. What'd you say?
I was just kidding. I said not on Vanguard. I was like, wait, no. But yeah, I mean, 1v4 on Vanguard.
1v3?
Yeah, he did. He did 1v3.
Yeah.
It was on this map too.
1v4 is different. But yeah, no, we've seen in his career a 1v4. We have seen a 1v3. It has happened. It didn't happen in that round, but we've seen it.
Of course. Only joking, just saying. Vanguard, it's I feel like it's definitely very hard to do it. Possible, but those 1v4s, they happen fast. Very, very fast. But the name of the game has kind of been slow here for DTO, is that essentially they're getting set up and taking these long range fights, but when you see the bomb kind of inching its way towards B, Ironblood Gaming, they don't have necessarily members looking at it, but I think that was the first blood. Was that a snipe from Mock?
It must have been.
Yes.
Love that. Ooh, piece of candy. 1 and 2 for Exceed. Great spot. And an even better read. That works. Love to see that near the end of the year. Assault, finding Venom. 3v2. What was a first blood for Mock and the sniper quickly turns into an advantage for Ironblood. With bomb down. And Exceed working his magic. I've said this a billion times today. You'd have to think this goes their way, but I don't know. I do not know.
Well, they're committing. I mean, essentially, if they know that the bomb is down, they're just committing the play. Ironblood Gaming is just, they're just working three all the way around. And I mean, at least they're playing this together. The bomb does fall, but they have complete control over their, essentially over DTO spawn. And yeah, it's just the fast commitment towards the long flank all the way around. I mean, if you don't see anybody at A, obviously they're just going to know, well, we got that bomb down, and just make the commitment to group up together. Ironblood Gaming do just that. And yeah, despite that first blood from Mock on the snipe kill onto Noisy, it just really regrouping there. And of course, Exceed with the dominating spot, shooting through the floor there onto the bomb site while Jintroid tried to plant. Nice save from Exceed. Wins the round. Like you said, very, very clinical. I mean, from both sides. It's just nothing really, really super crazy. Just very slow, methodical, just looking for those first blood picks and capitalizing and playing off of them.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, it's all tied up to a piece. Have a feeling Destroy might be able to take the advantage here with the way these rounds have been going. It's been back and forth. Noisy's still looking for his first kill. Running bomb for the moment. He moved up. He's going to get spotted. Exceed does find Jintroid. And Venom. Ooh, nice play by Exceed to cut it down. Before that push collapses, only players remaining for Destroy the Odds. Far pushed back, but they don't have eyes on Welly. They have an understanding of where he's at, and so does Exceed. Bombs down. This is a round for Ironblood.
Yep, of course. And I mean, the shots on to Welly, though, of course. Mock now is spotted in the back. And yeah, credits to Exceed, who just essentially got into that top palace spot, able to cut down 2 members of Destroy. And that was just an easy plant there for, I believe it was Noisy, who just got the plant off. And yeah, Ironblood just being set up, Assault there to get the trade. It just, it was just very clinical. Exceed had his pistol out, too. Just, hey, I'll challenge.
Dog
literally
agreed.
got the gunny right now.
Puppy agreed.
Yep. Exceed is on a 4 streak. So, I mean, like, if you look at members of Ironblood, all essentially have 2 apiece. Assault and Welly, 5 and 2. I mean, Noisy doesn't even have a kill yet, and essentially they are up right now.
Yeah, if he gets a kill and Exceed gets a 5 bomb,
might be it.
You know. You know what I'm saying. It could happen.
I do.
There's a stun. And first blood. Jintroid taking down Noisy. Noisy's 0-5, and they still have a 3-2 lead. That's wild. Careful, Jintroid. Bunny hops work when you have an AR from Venom who can watch over you. Good lord.
Yeah, and he almost took down Exceed there, but Exceed at least able to get away with his life, reposition himself, and at least get the call that the bomb is swinging towards A. So gotta worry about this player tucked away in the back. Hollow. Exceed might get timing and get away with his life. That is not good if you're a Destroy, because Exceed can shut this down, and he's on a 5 streak still, racking up these kills, but he knows where Hollow is in the back, so he's just gonna decide, you know what? I'm just gonna make the play for the elimination.
Does he check right though? I mean, he's gonna have to. Yeah, he does. Oh my god, he's still alive. Oh. Oh my god, Hollow just got absolutely massacred. Oh my god. Oh, Hollow, you poor kid. You poor lad. Dude, just sent him back to Optic Gaming and Modern Warfare. My god. Holy crap. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't even care about the 1v1.
At this point,
you gotta win it now. You gotta win it now. There's no excuse to not win it now.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Exceed's like, you know what? I'm not taking any chances.
Oh.
It's all good. That was worth it just for that right there. My goodness. Well, destroy the odds. That was a much needed round, regardless of the slaying that Exceed is shooting there in that last round. It doesn't matter. Hollow being tucked away, I mean, created enough diversion. Regardless, Exceed had to take that long way around. 7-2, tie game. Noisy still 0-5 right now, but does have a plant at least. I mean, on the attacking side, I mean, yeah. The play is just getting bottom palace, and there it is. Jinchoid for the stop. Noisy with the kill. He heard us.
That Noisy's first kill.
Yeah, and that's
of all
it.
the kills, man, of all the engagements, how is that one his first kill? All right. Well, it should have been an easy opening pick for Destroy the Odds. It does not happen. And instead, you give away 2 in the transaction. You got robbed. Venom on the hunt. Exceed, where are you going? Exceed, where are you going? Nowhere.
Ooh, and I don't think that maybe Exceed... I think Exceed was the one that threw... He had the nade onto Venom. Venom still continued to push forward, so tracking down that kill was huge. If you destroy the odds, get that plant position going. I mean, at least the plant... Noisy was able to get the plant off, get away with his life, and now it's just about the retake here. Hollow on the other side, and Noisy and Venom kind of cowered each other, but that was a huge win from Venom now, leaving it to a 2 versus 2. But Assault there for the trade, and Hollow last alive. 22 seconds left. Gotta go fast, but efficiency here. Assault's gonna be the one to stop. And Ironblood Gaming take another round by round, inching their way forward towards that W, but will it be enough? I don't know.
Is it weird that I'm still thinking about Exceed's kill? Is that bad?
No, it's not.
Thank you.
Not at all.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Sometimes I don't even know if I'm asking rhetorical questions anymore. I just need that confidence, that assurance from you. I appreciate it.
Of course. No, of course. I mean, it was a pretty amazing kill, but I mean,
that was pretty good.
If you think about it, Venom kind of had the same type of scenario, except, I mean, he did have an automaton, I guess. Well, maybe not.
That's true.
Automaton, but still, the rush plays there coming in from Noisy and Exceed. Jinchoid does take down one, and, well, Willie to follow, the bomb is down. Not going to get planted towards B, but it's going to be swinging towards A.
How quickly does it get down, and does Assault realize... Oh, never mind. I was going to wonder if Assault was able to kind of move out of spot and get over towards the site, but with that kill, it just makes it easier, because now you have the first 3v1 instead of a 3v2. Make it a 2v1. Make it a none-v-none. And body shots. Love that. Yeah, I mean, I understand.
All right,
I
Exceed.
understand.
Yep.
Yeah, respectful. I mean, what you did 2 rounds ago, yeah, dude, you got it. Diffuse. You're like 18% of the way towards dead silence. 5v3 though. I mean, the fact that Noisy is having the game he's having, and it's not even a massive detriment. It's just been a team effort. He's 1-7. I mean, granted, he's 10-3, but wow. Yeah.
No, for sure. And this is just what Exceed does. Really just starts to just turn up, and I mean, there's really no stopping once he gets going. 10-3 right now, and well, the bomb is going to be swinging towards A, and it looks like the commitment from Noisy. The plan is stuck. Venom does get tagged with a nade, so he has to back down, but that bomb does get planted. 4 versus 4.
Great nade.
Win conditions for Ironblood.
Yeah. Well, if Exceed can stay alive, absolutely. Assault getting first blood again. And Exceed gets second. Oh, baby. That's the round. Everybody dropping Hollow in a 1v4, 1v0. GG's. Ironblood Gaming get it done in Game 5, 6-3. Clinical in the S&Ds. They finally get one out of the series. With all the negatives coming into this Game 5, with all the unfortunate disappointments and the situation scenarios, listen, at the end of the day, a win is a win. You get yourself a series win. You end Season 4 on a high note. It happens, but GG's to everybody around. That was a good series, and they ended it in Game 5 in a very nice performance from Exceed, Assault, and everybody else around. Ellen, that is 4 full best of 5s today. That's 20 games of Call of Duty in the books.
20 maps. I mean, yeah, absolutely. That was pretty crazy, but from Ironblood Gaming, I mean, listen, if I was a part of this squad and, I wouldn't listen to the casters. I would say, you know what? I don't care what they say. We're going to end this on a win. And despite that, I mean, they decided to do that. Yeah, absolutely. Who does? But regardless, it was a good ending. Great start, great ending. And look at that across the board. I mean, all day we had 3-2s all across the board. Even that surprising one from Whatever It Takes. I mean, Spaceman on the day, it was super fun. I mean, I did you kind of expect this to happen today?
Because I certainly
did.
No, I did not. I did not. I expected some Game 5s. I didn't expect all of them. The game. I think the biggest surprise for me was Whatever It Takes at 705. As good as 705 is, I thought Whatever It Takes would win that 3-0. I thought they would. And they were up 2-0 and it was close, but that was credit to 705's resilience and their ability to make small adjustments, but all the way, AYM, Katana, Rocker, Awoba Bobs in Europe, all 3-2. And then 705 and Destroy the Odds, Whatever It Takes, Ironblood. Again, it's like we had left side of the column in Europe, 3-2. Right side of the column in North America, 3-2. All best of 5s went the distance to a Game 5. And some of them were for tiebreakers. A lot of them were. Ellen, closing thoughts. Ironblood, unfortunate, but hopefully we will see them moving forward and going into next year. And things are still up in the air for champs at this moment in time, but thoughts on today, on the final day of regular season for Challengers Elite for 2022?
Yeah, I mean, for the North America side, that just that locks in for Destroy the Odds for 4th. So, I mean, you have Whatever It Takes. So you have Toronto Ultra Academy NA, and then you have 705 Esports, and then, of course, Destroy the Odds. So, really excited for next week to see how the playoffs go down. And even on the European side, we know it's just been pretty crazy. Team War, AOIM, Rocker, and Awoba Bobs. I believe that's accurate, if that's correct, for the European side. Toronto Ultra Academy, EU, hello. But just from the configuration of everything, I'm really excited for next week, just to see for our champions who take the crown for stage 4. And just across the board, it has been pretty intense Call of Duty. One of the most intense stages, and I just can't wait even going into Boston just to see how these teams progress and see where they end up.
Yeah, the final road is here. We have now made our way towards the playoff bracket. It's exciting. It's coming up next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, same time as usual that you've seen here. But this one's for all the marbles folks who will crown a Season 4 champion going into that week. This is all, though, for Boston leading forward and for champs up ahead. And it's been a hell of a day. It's been a hell of a season. We have concluded 4 stages, and now we jump into the playoff side. So we'll see you guys next Tuesday and Wednesday for the playoff bracket. Congratulations to all the teams that qualified, and to all those that didn't. We hope to see you in the future. You guys are awesome, and we love you for competing. We'll see you guys next week.